Good afternoon, everybody. Hope everyone's doing all right. Got myself here, Mike Saletta, and the ever popular Mr. David Harrison, 2022 NHC Champion. We're both sitting here in a nice, dismal, rainy Western New York day. So no better better time than to sit here and have some banter and bet on some ponies, right? Right, David? Good to see
Yeah,
you.
exactly. You summed it up perfectly. Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, you summed it up perfectly. When we're Western New York, it's like 50 degrees, overcast, rainy, drizzly. And I'm looking at the forecast in Florida the next 5 days, low 90s, sun, and there we go. So when I'm in Western New York now, what do I do besides play horses on days like today? I don't have an
Exactly.
excuse. My wife wants to go out biking, running, pickleball, tennis. You're not doing that the next couple of days at least. So what better to do than play some horses, analyze some races? So we'll get it rolling today. And thanks for everybody who's joined so far. Appreciate you joining in.
Yeah, I appreciate it, buddy. Oldie, drive careful.
Hey, Oldie.
Don't get in a wreck. Jay, it's always good to see you, buddy. Yeah, so why don't we get started? We got a few minutes here for Gulfstream. We're going to kick off with Gulfstream Park, race 6. We got looks like about 7 minutes to post, plus their merry-go-round before they enter the gate.
You say 7 minutes to post, probably going to equate to about 13 to 15 minutes. Getting there, let's see, 6th race. So we got the pick 4. They want to get that pick 4 up to max as possible.
Exactly.
Yeah. And hello, Dave. Thanks for joining.
Hey, Dave. Good to see you, buddy. All right. Why don't we do our normal routine here? Well, I've got it sorted by pace, and then we'll let the race sim play out here.
Okay, so we've got a 5 furlong sprint on the Tapeta, and don't look down now. Don't spill your beer. Don't drop your program, because the race could be over. It's like a quarter horse race. And those of you who follow us and follow myself, you know I'm not a big fan of these 5 furlong Tapetas, but I've learned to deal with them, especially since Gulfstream Park is my home Florida track. So, obviously here, Mike, the 4 has has pretty significant pace advantage here on the metric, right?
Exactly.
98 compared to the second highest, which is between Banded Rocket, the 2, and the 6 Power Attack. So, your first impression, or my first impression, Mike, would be, yeah, it's probably a wire job at 5-2. And then I see the 3 is taking money. So that would lead me to take another look at the 3, and based on, if not for luck, and again, I love the name of that horse. If not for luck, what the hell else do we have? All right. So
Right.
This horse is live with, dropping out of a 70 SOR the last time out, in the 62 optional claimer on the turf at 5 furlongs.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem, this horse also has raced on the synthetic at the distance. And basically, you've got 5 out of 7 in the money on the Tapeta there. The issue is, though, as the favorite right now, this horse needs pace up front. And we don't know if we're going to get enough of a pace, a contentious pace early. So to me, I'm a little skeptical of the 3 at the price. So I would most likely lean to the 4 at this point. But the horse I would try to get in here is who I think is a little sneaky at the price, and I'm always looking for value. And it's the outside post horse, the 6 Power Attack, the Scotty Longshot. Mm-hmm. This horse has won wire to wire off a layoff back on March 27th over this track. 50,000 claimer, again, with IRAD on, and just went wire to wire from the 4 post. So he has won off a layoff before, has now a brief freshening, a couple of months freshening, and maybe just lay off the 4 and make a run and take over. But then the 5's got speed. So I think at the price here, I would go with a 2-speed number, reluctantly, probably 4. the 4 and the 6. How did you see this race, Mike?
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned the 3 horses that I was looking at. We already mentioned that the 4, has that huge pace advantage. He also is getting a pretty decent size bump in GSR. If you look at that turf going from a 46 to a 68, but if you look back at 2 races back, measures up to a same 68 where he did win going wire to wire fashion. And as you mentioned, there's not a lot of, I don't see the 2 doesn't always not the best breaker in the world. 6 can break okay. And that's the one thing that I noticed, and he seems like he does want the lead to win, right? A couple times he got the lead and faltered here, dropped back in 6th against 64 company, going 5 or 5.5 furlongs on the turf. So that was my concern there with the 6. And then the other one we had mentioned was a 3 that could probably sit off the pace. But his form hasn't been all that great recently. So that's kind of where I just fell down on the 4, with possibly the 3 picking up some of the pieces and down the stretch. But that's where I leaned.
Yeah, and again, I think we're pretty much on the same page here. The issue with the 3 is, well, not the issue, is the question is, I mean, is the class drop going to do it for him? Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of times you'll see these horses now drop in. This horse had run at the 35 level back in late 2023 in December, and also an optional claim for 20. Oh, and then off a layoff in November 20, an optional claimer 25, which this horse had won from an 11 post at 10-1. So is it the class drop that's going to do it? So, but and again, at 2-1, I won't take that risk.
Same with you.
Same. And if you look at the comparison on the board, the 4 is 5-2. A possible, obviously, wire-to-wire winner, but the 6 will be right on him. If the 4 gets off a step slow, the 6 should be on a clear lead, and I'm getting 6-1. And I'm looking at the 5, who's 3-1, also has some speed. So the way I approach these races is, who's the value? Is it worth the risk, or is it not worth the risk? Okay, I won't take 2-1 on a dead stone closer. 5-2 is not a bad price on Falanito. Now, it's all subject to change. We've got about 3 minutes left. So at this point, I'm looking at the value of the race, in my opinion, is a 6 Power Attack. So I will use Power Attack in some fashion, just trying to get him first or second.
Yeah.
Banded Rocket, we haven't talked about Banded Rocket.
Yeah, that's the other horse I was going to look at here.
32% win percentage. But the question I had with this horse is, you look at his form, he just seems to, the last 2 races, I don't see excuses. I mean, he went off at almost 24-1, 2 back in a 35 beaten claimer, had the lead and finished second. Run it right back a month later, 35 beaten claimer, had the lead and finished second.
Yep.
And he hasn't won since Tampa, but a 75,000 claimer. That's on the dirt. This is Tapeta. He's 0-2. He's actually 2 second place finishes on the Gulfstream Tapeta. I mean, he's a definite contender. Could easily win this race, but I've got a little bit of a question mark with the 2. So, like I said, I prefer the 6 of the 4 here.
Yeah, I agree with you on the 2 there. Yeah, I think I had it 4-3 is what I was going to go with, but I'm still not 3. Still, I don't know. I don't think his recent form is what's scaring me with him. Again, the drop is the question, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Right. And if we've covered almost everybody in the field, so we might as well go to the 5. And I'll let you pronounce that horse, but I'll just call it the Castro horse. Okay, very good. Very good. Okay, that works for me. And this horse looks interesting. The issue is no Tapeta, right? And all those layoff lines. I mean, you've got to break
that's why I didn't look
July, then from September to November, now November to April. Second race off the layoff. if this horse takes it to PETA, I mean, this horse is live and is taking money, Mike, at 7-2. So when I see a horse taking money like that off a morning line of 6-1, it does
it's
a little interest here in my mind. But I mean, you can't play them all, obviously. Well, you can if you want to wheel in the horizontals. But in this case, in a race like this, you got to fade him a little bit because of no PETA for him.
Yeah, I'm with you. And the multiple layoff lines. I'm trying to think. I don't know what Castro. Let's see. Yeah, not enough data to have any representation of his conditioning. I don't have a time to look at what he does taking horses from dirt to all weather, but
right. Well, look at it this way. Second race back, he's 50% with 2 starters. Right. I mean,
yeah, I'm surprised he's taking money. It'll be interesting to see what happens. The big GSR drop, he seems like he wants dirt, but if he takes it to PETA, well, you never know, right?
Yeah, and my mindset is, Mike, if I'm getting enough of a price, I'll take the chance that a horse will take it to PETA. But at that price, at 5-2, I mean, if it was 52-1, I'd be all over it, or 10-1. But to me, it's all about risk reward. Not enough of a reward for the risk.
Wow, 3 still taking money.
And the 3 just got hammered down. As Oldie would like to say, 1-1. All right, good luck, everybody. They're in the gate.
Power Attack to take the outside gate. They're at the post. And they're off. If not for luck, the favorite was off last. Fulanito and Zydeco, the first 2 to begin, and they're locked up heads apart through the opening strides here. Big Louie is at the rail. Out in the middle goes Power Attack. In between horses, Banded Rocket, and if not for luck, is left behind early as they have less than half a mile to run. Fulanito, fleet of foot under Zayas. He leads 3 parts of a length over Zydeco in second. Banded Rocket makes it up to third. Power Attack fourth. Big Louie is still second last and still trailing, if not for luck, as they run past the quarter in 21-1. They reach the top of the stretch. Fulanito has the lead. He has a wall of pursuers. If not for luck, going to come around the field while 6 wide. Off cover now, it's Banded Rocket. They're on their way home. It's Fulanito into the drive on top by 2. Banded Rocket takes aim for Vasquez second. 3 back to the others, led by if not for luck down the far outside. Final 16th of a mile. Here's Banded Rocket trying to reach Fulanito. Fulanito needs the wire. Banded Rocket surging. Fulanito.
Yep.
All right.
Fulanito beats
another wire job from the top metric in the race, right? I needed a 4-6, but the 2 was live, but a very, very logical result.
Let's see.
And again, and we can go back to this again. So we're looking for value, right? Who is worth? In my opinion, it's always about my horse playing. At least it's a risk reward issue. Is the reward of 3-2 on not for luck worth the risk of a dead stone closer? And in my opinion, it wasn't. And when the horse got off slow out of the gate, it was over basically, right? We did make a run, but to what? 3rd or 4th. So that is the problem in these 5 furlong to PETA races. You get off a step slow, especially as a closer. I mean, the closers are the only ones who can have the issue where they get off a step slow because they can close. But if a speed gets off a step slow, it's over, right? The horse is going to lead. And again, we saw Power Attack making a menacing move, and as you pointed out, that horse is only 1 on the lead. So obviously that horse wants to be on the lead. There are some horses who can only win on the lead, and he looks like one of those.
Yeah, he was 6 wide too on the turn.
Yeah, that did not help.
That didn't help matters either.
Logical.
But that Banded Rocket did take to the PETA pretty well. I mean, he couldn't catch the 4. The 4 was just too strong, but he ran pretty well, right? A pretty good race on the PETA there a couple times. Another second place for him. All right. I think we were going to try to get the Woody, but they might be they already finished. Looks like a 4. Catch the ending here. They were too close to each other, and Gulfstream Park always 4-5 too.
Yeah.
He shoots, he wins. That was our close to a hockey reference. Looks like came in second.
Well, I'm surprised you didn't pick up on the other hockey reference.
Which one's that?
Hanlon.
Oh, Hanlon. Yeah.
You remember Glenn Hanlon?
Number 4, Fulanito. Second, 2, Banded Rockets.
Right.
I'm not sure if that's a hockey reference, but there was a goalie, Glenn Hanlon, who played, I believe, with St. Louis Blues, and he played with the Rangers for a while.
Yeah.
Actually, in the 80s, he was on, I believe, he was in net when the Islanders and Rangers went OT in a deciding 5th game at the Nassau Coliseum. And of course, we know the results of that. I was always telling people, like, well, if the Rangers could have won that game in overtime, they would have won the cup. The Islanders won their 3rd straight cup, but they had the Islanders on the ropes, and it's just another, excuse for the Rangers. Glenn Hanlon, and that horse went off at a decent price, right? 9-2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna actually try a Hawthorne race.
Sure.
It looks like it's next up. We'll take a quick look at that one. We got, let's see who else. Yeah, I think Delaware's gonna be tight. Which should we prefer?
I prefer Delaware because I actually looked at Delaware.
Let's go to Delaware then. Hawthorne's.
And we got a larger field there at Delaware. I believe there's a sloppy track, and I did have an opinion on Delaware.
Yeah, why don't you go? Because I'm going to take a look at it while you're talking. I didn't look at this race. I looked at the next one.
Right. Okay. So let me go to Delaware race 7. We've got a 1.70 miles, and this is an off the turf event because we have a lot of rain here in the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast. And when I was handicapping this race this morning, I was looking for the AEs, the dirt onlys, and Bayou Blitz is the one that makes sense to me, coming from Oaklawn Park. Off these mile races, actually this horse is run exclusively either 1.16 or a mile. Going 1.70. He's got positional speed out of Practical Joke. I'm looking at the GSR, and he's got a 62 second in the field to a Richard Feynman, who I'm not sure who Richard Feynman is, but I would avoid Richard Feynman personally, the horse, because it's a Grand Motion horse, and it looks turf meant to me. It had a decent race last time out, and Graham usually doesn't win off the turf races, in my opinion. I love Graham as a trainer on the turf, but not so much the dirt. But I'll get right to the chase here. I'm not big on Academy, the 14 either, who is taking money at 5-1 because that's another Grand Motion.
Yep.
And looks turf meant to me out of Oscar Performance. So you want an Oscar Performance on the sloppy track? Not me. I am taking a shot here with a gigantic price to hit the board. And actually, I wanted to point out, I made the same move with a horse at Aqueduct on Sunday, and he ended up going at 95-1 and finished 3rd. So that's not as big of a gigantic price as this horse is going to be. But I had an interest in. I'm shocked that this horse is 21-1 on Home Invasion, the Mohaman colt. Now this horse started on the dirt, off step slow, no chance at all, and was bet to 12-1 at New York bred in the state, New York State, maiden special weight, and then went to the turf. And same thing, bumped hard, eliminated at the start. I think Mohaman I like on off tracks. The GSR on this Home Invasion is 61, which is not bad. And I think this horse might be live. The issue is if he can get off, well out of the gate. But at 21-1, I'm giving this horse a shot. So I'm going to just use Home Invasion across the board here.
Interesting. Yeah, Bayou Blitz, 48, 110K claimer dropping down to 45Kers. Does look pretty sloppy out there.
Yeah, that's wet.
Looking at GSRs, looks like the 4 has a nice one's got the silver badge. That's the Graham into Mischief gelding.
Mm-hmm.
Last off the turf, 8. Oh man. 48 SOR. Home Invasion we talked about. You talked about there as well. As the horse you're on, I could kind of see that. Nice work there on the 17th. My Vacation, a firster here. 22%, first time tourist. Looks like a turf, grade 1 turf runner. And the dam does have some dirt pedigree a little bit there. Not bad, not bad. Man, David, your 12 has. I don't see why he doesn't have a chance. There's nothing that's popping out at me just from the EE metrics. I know they're going in the gate. And then 14 the Academy. Yeah, what the heck was that trip? And Chase 3/4 empty. Fell apart. There's no excuses there. 2 layoff. Yeah. I kind of like your 12. I can't argue about that.
Yeah, and I just put in a 10-12 exacta box. So, and again, maybe there's a reason why this horse is 24-1. Obviously, it's Delaware. It's going to be a limited amount of action in the pools. But I just think this horse is being totally overlooked and may not be able to run. But to me, again, I keep repeating the risk reward. At 24-1, I'll take a chance on any horse that first time trying anything. But at 3-5, that's not working for me. I'm the reverse Matt Miller strategy.
Yeah, I don't like any of these other horses, to be quite honest with you. The 3 coming in from Presque Isle, the synthetic. Yeah, it seems to be more of a turf horse.
Now, can we show Delaware? We can't. We can listen.
We can't. No, unfortunately.
No. Okay.
I still got to figure out my sound where I can play the track announcing through this. I don't know if it'll work. Maybe it'll work through my phone, but they're off.
They're still loading the gate for me, so don't give it away.
I won't.
Oh, actually, they're still in the paddock. No, I'm only kidding. Ready? They're off. Well, the good thing is Home Invasion got off to a much better start.
Figure out a way to pipe in the sound. Bet you if I add my ADW into the VM and then not show it, just play the sound,
Right.
That probably would work.
That could work, possibly.
I'll mess with that later. That was a 2-horse race the whole way.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, Home Invasion, that was 40, run like a 44-1 shot that she ended up going off at. But I mean, in a race like this, to me, the other horse was the 10 was logical. I wasn't sure about Academy, who was going to end up winning the race. But if you look back at Academy, I mean, again, an Oscar performance. It just shows you that there's a weak race, and maybe this horse just had a class edge here.
Yeah, looking at the race sim, it almost finished that way. It looked like, first and second call, it was almost flip-flopped here. I think the 10 was in front of the 14. Pretty much the whole way around the track. Looked like finished 14-10-7 or 14-10-4. Down the stretch, the race sim had it 14-4-10, and then it finish. I mean, it almost had the finish right. It
Yeah.
had the 4 winning, but I think it came 14-10-4. I know that, but I don't know who came in fourth. But yeah, that's interesting.
All right. So you had 2 Grand Motion horses on and off track hit the board, but again, there wasn't any really much in here at all.
No.
And in retrospect, I mean, yeah, again, when I see a horse, I need excuses, trouble lines in order to bet a horse is 24 or 30 to 1. And you had 2. Yeah. I mean, he both starts for home invasion. He got off slow. So you're making a lot of assumptions. The assumption is he's going to handle an off track and he can run, which it didn't seem like he can run, but he had excuses both tries, right? So if those 2 past performances were a 6th, 14 lengths behind and a 10th, 16 lengths behind with no trouble lines, I would not be interested in the horse. So I need an excuse to bet the horse. And in this case, that excuse did not work out at 44 to 1.
All right. We had a quick turnaround here. I know you didn't, I don't think you handicapped Indy too much, but I did a little bit. So I'll run through it pretty quick.
Sure.
So this, to me, it had quite a bit of possibility of the 3 going gate to wire. The one does have some speed if I sort it by speed. 3 is 83 and 79 from a pace metric. But you look at the first call, the 3 looks like it gets the lead without too much of a problem. And you look at how they break, the 3 does break pretty well compared to the 1. The 1 seems a little inconsistent. So if the 3 can clear the 1, and that 1 doesn't pressure him too much, that's the 3 I thought could go gate to wire. But if they do have a pace duel, I was looking at the 5 and the 8 here. The 5 did win 2 back, same surface, similar conditions against a 40 SOR group, so a little lesser group here. Did come off the pace, is stepping up here in the last race and stepping up here. So can she get better as she's stepping up in class is the question. She had some nice work last couple works here too, so that's something that grabbed my attention, and I think they're going off. So I had it 3-8-5 here.
Okay, I was looking at the 4. Third race off a layoff, a bullet workout on April 16th. That's who I would have played.
For the inside, Jay's Naughty Kitten showing early interest running in third. Focaccia between horses, joined out wide by Lamadora, caught wide from post 9. Hard Truth wins part of that quartet as they go past the half-mile pole. Then wins Forever.
Four got the lead.
Kitty and between horses. Luna Diva has drifted back toward last. The quarter battled through in 22.35.
Looking around.
With Joseph Romero at Sakura's Quest. Inside 3 to go. Sakura's Quest has emerged in front, tracked by Focaccia, who's went there staying near. Lamadora City Prayers 3rd and 4th. Wentz Forever just got a reminder, racing a wide 5th. Hard Truth wins in 6th. Luna Diva a wide 7th. Jay's Naughty Kitten Vibe has dropped.
He might get beat by 40 to 1 shot.
The stretch half mile. 6.48.
He's going to get beat by 40 to 1 shot.
Focaccia is at Sakura.
Here comes
Oh, no, they're flying.
Has taken the lead from Sakura's Quest. Here's Wentz Forever, who's charging hard. Luna Diva on the outside, City Prayers in between.
Holy cow.
For Fernando de la Cruz.
There's the 2 horses I said would gobble them up.
Yeah, the 7 got held on for second. Focaccia.
Yeah, that's a good run by the 7.
I almost was going to say, I could have made a hunch play because yesterday I was at Panera Bread and had an egg sandwich on a focaccia.
And I got rid of that 7. That's funny.
Now I had the 42 to 1, the 40 to 1 plus shot in a race too early. So
right?
It is what it is, right?
Yeah, exactly. Wow, that 8 it wasn't heavily bet. It's went off about the same as the morning line and EE morning line. Looking back, it was the only horse that could rate.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised he was that far back, to be quite honest with you, or she was.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was definitely how it played out. If that 3 didn't get the lead, the 5 and the 8 were the 2 that I was looking at.
13-8 wins for
Yeah, and Patrick just pointed out the
5-3.
7 added blinkers last time out in his maiden score. And again, first time versus winners, and you're getting a huge price. But it looks like he ran back to that race. So, Patrick, I think you're right. Blinkers might be the key to that horse.
That's for sure. All right, let's see. We got Gulfstream Park, race 7. Looks like the next opportunity here for us.
I think we got a little time to that, right?
Yeah, we do. We've got about 9 plus 3.
Right. Okay. And this is a $6,000 claimer, $6,250.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm at Finger Lakes,
right?
My home track, which is not my home track for the spring and summer. Even though I still call Saratoga my home track, it's only about 4 hours away. So, but Finger Lake's not bad for a day out. I'm sure you've been there, Mike, right?
I haven't, believe it or not.
You haven't?
No.
Oh, we're going to meet there on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday.
We should.
Yeah.
We should.
And, they have some good stakes races. They have the New York Derby there. They have a bunch of 2-year-old races come up in June. But, I'll reach out to you. We'll and maybe anybody in Western New York, listeners, maybe we'll have a crowd of 4 or 5 there.
There you go.
Western New York. But, and I always had even though I'll bet Finger Lakes, I mean, you can't bet a lot of money there because there's not a lot in the pool.
Yeah.
But I always had an axiom that if I can afford to claim the horse, I shouldn't be playing that race. So 6250 claimer, I could claim one of these. So and again, this goes back in the day. Now, don't bust my balls about saying, well, you won the NHC a couple of years, or you could. So it goes back to my old the $5 win place, $2 win place, $10 win place that I come from. That's the background. Yeah. So this race, at least it's on the dirt. So I think, I have a better handle on dirt races down at Gulfstream. And we'll just cut to the chase here. Did you run the race simulator yet?
I haven't. Let's run it.
We got some time.
I got it sorted by pace here, as we like to do. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of pace in this race.
No, you got and again, it's a $6,000 claimer.
True.
Where you don't expect the pace numbers to be near 100, right? The pace metric. So you got a top of 52, and Solomon's Gold is 3 to 5, and he's the blue ribbon horse. Top pace, top win percentage, top EE morning line, EE or Scotty top pick in the money 72% of the time. It's tough to beat, coming from the rail, but I still always have question marks about a horse that's bet that much. I mean, I don't know what's going on, but he's been popular at the claim box, claimed the last 2 out of 3, but it looks like we have a voided claim on February 19th. Now, I don't know what that's about, and they don't give you just, much information about those voided claims. Mm-hmm. And then again, he's got a bullet workout on May 17th, first of 43. Horses 6 for 26 lifetime, 17 of 26 in the money, 6 of 19 at Gulfstream. Very, very difficult animal to bet against.
Yeah, I was looking at Justin's notes here, and Chase Elliott's in town to take the mount as well. He mentions tactical speed. I could see that. He has shown he can rate. Get in the front. I mean, he's got 4 wins in 6 seconds in 10 races at the distance, right? If we look back here, 4 wins, 6 seconds, and 10 races at this distance, $75,000 earnings. The class of this race by miles, right? The only other horses I looked at the 3 and the 7. The 3 did face the 7 last out. It looks like he did best him by the 3 just narrowly lost, right? Late gain and missed. And the 7 finished 5 furlongs or five lengths back and forth. So the 3 was the other one I was looking at. I didn't really beat the 1. I don't think so.
Right.
But does show that he can pass some horses. Look at the levels here. He's been running in this in these conditions for the last couple of races, low win percentages, and like I said, did almost win last time out. It does have a win back last year in March, but other than that, I couldn't find anything else that was remotely close to 2 maybe, with a couple seconds in the same condition, under same conditions.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody's going to beat the 1.
Yeah, again, I'm not in a situation like this. I try to always beat a 3 to 5 shot, unless you were in a high allowance company, and I believe the horse is absolute lock. And with a $6,000 claimer, these horses can go off form in an instant. So you're never going to get me to play a less than even money shot in a low level claimer.
Yeah. As if this was a little better of conditions, I would look at an exacta here, but I can't with any confidence bet an exacta, so that's when I always look. Normally, I'll look at for a double. If I'm going to bet a chalk like this at even money or even less, I'll look at a double first. I think it's much easier to win 2 in a row than it is to pick an exacta. The exacta would be my third choice. So it's always win, daily double, then exactas for me, as far as simplicity goes. So if we look real quick, if we want to look at a possible double to try to get some value here, not to try to look too far ahead of the upcoming race, because I know we'll have some time to go over it, but that's what I would try to do, David, normally in these types of situations, right?
You're trying to maximize. You're under the impression that the 1 can't lose, but you want to try to maximize your return. And
exactly.
Doubles one of my favorite wagers of all time. I mean, I used to go, when I had limited funds, I used to go to the track with $50, and then I realized you can, hey, listen, the doubles to me are much better value than playing win plays. I mean, I'd go for 3 races and watch Harvey Pack at the track, handicap the double. I'd probably go against him because that's just the type of attitude I have. And, I just played with my $40. I'd play 2 $20 doubles, and that was the end of my bankroll. And if I won, I stay. If I lose, I go home. And, it's like, well, people say, well, why don't you take that $40 and space it out over 9 races? I'm like, no, because I'm playing 2 $20 doubles, and I'm getting back a minimum of probably $80 to $120. So I'm going to leave I'm either going minus 40 or up like 800 to 1,000. That's the way those doubles.
Right. And I've learned a lot from quite a few people, but in most particular, our good buddies Brad Anderson and Matt Miller, and they always, Brad has instilled this in my brain for the past year, and that is, the KISS method: keep it simple, stupid, right? And that is, try to you set your goals, right, for the day, whatever it might be, whether you're going to try to turn 10 into 50 or 100 into 500, whatever. It's something X your bankroll, and sometimes it might be 5X if you're for the day. It might be 10X, and the way I base it, whether it's going to be 5 or 10, is I don't like to bet every track. I don't like to bet every race. I'm going to focus on 1 to 2, maybe 3 tracks, but no more than 2 usually, because that's a lot of handicapping that you got to do, right?
Right.
And then I've honed in one thing I want to do better on, and that's honing in on the types of races and conditions that I'm better at, whether it's turf, whether it's dirt, whether it's routes, whether it's sprints, or a combination of any of those, right? Whether it's starter allowances to optional claimers to, name it, right? I haven't figured that out yet, but I will. But my point is, if I'm setting a goal, and let's just say I look at the 2 tracks and I think I've got opportunities to get to 10X, and I set my goal for 10X, I want to get there in as few bets as possible.
Correct.
Right. And if I have a strong opinion about one race where I think a horse is going to go off at 10 to 1, I make 1 bet. I know that's boring.
Yeah.
But if I'm setting a budget for the day, I'll set aside my little play money budget. I might put, 20% of my budget for the day just for fun. right? Where I'm just going to
I
play
was just going to
races
say that.
for
That's
action.
Yep, we're totally on the same page with that. Keep going. Yeah.
It's usually like 20-25%
Yep.
of my bankroll
Entertainment
for the
plays.
day is
Yep.
entertainment plays. The rest of it is serious money play. I might either want to get 5 to 10x, somewhere in between there.
Right.
And then when I'm doing these, we always joke about the Matt Miller doubles, right? And he does great with these. And those
Yep.
are the opportunities where you have a high confidence level, even though they might be even money or less and they're back to backs and you feel very confident. I'm typically looking at something that's at least 4-1, 5-1 on those doubles in order for me, even if I'm very confident on it, to put any significant amount of bankroll on it, right? That's kind of my cutoff point. So I don't know what your thoughts are on everything I just said.
And it's uncanny because I was just thinking in my head, my typical day at Saratoga, my favorite track. I will only play Saratoga that day, 10 race card. I'm going to take 80% in exactly the number you said, 80% on maybe 2 or 3 races.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of them, so if you want a denomination, so I hate the first 3 races, but I'm there. I'm going to have some action. They're maiden special weights. I'll put, $2 doubles, $2 exacta boxes, $1 triple. Fine. Entertainment plays strictly because I have very little confidence. We get to the 7th race. It's a 1 1/8 2-turn allowance race. And I love a couple of horses. You want to take an arbitrary figure. Say I have a $200 bankroll. I'll play 150 on that race. That leaves me with the other. And if it doesn't hit, I know what I'm focusing on, and that's that. And the rest of it's entertainment play. There might be another race or 2. If I hit that, I might parlay it into a different one. But that's the right. So you can't plan to play all 10 races. Let's say on a hypothetical 10 race card with the same denomination on a consistent basis. 10 races a day, and think you're going to end up with a positive ROI. I think you've got to focus on those races you're confident in, and the results are going to be what the results are. My limit or my goal is probably more than yours of 4 to 5 to 1, because you're never going to get me playing a large double of 2 favorites. Never going to happen. Yeah, I need to get at least probably between 10 and 30 to 1 to make a pretty large double bet. And do I have a lot of confidence? I will still have confidence because I think these horses could be overlays.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that's my baseline. If it goes below that, then and there are 2 chalks, like heavy favorites like that, then I won't entertain that.
Right. Let me I hear you. Yeah. I just want to say the horse I'd use here is a 7. I think the 7's live. I think it's probably, let's see, we got the 3rd.
Yeah, it's 7.
The 3rd choice. Yeah, it will be 1-7-ish for me. And Tyler, by the way, the Preakness challenge didn't go as expected, but
Skull gets
the
hot pink and
maybe next time. But I thought I had some good opinions, just didn't turn out. But thanks. But I did hit the exact in the Preakness, but didn't have enough bankroll.
Mayhem in the Palace.
And by the way,
I agree with you on the 7 here, David.
Okay,
that's who I played in the
pick and play today.
And during the show, we'll discuss the performance of journalism, which was unbelievable.
To the outside. Yeah. Late pick 3 at Gulfstream with Mayhem in the Palace brought up to the outside.
Good luck, everybody.
Renegade. There, off and running. Terrible start. Cross Haste leapt in the air, 3 lengths slow. A Morley Hano away the best, and he'll reach out for some forward position. Moving up on the outside, Sigrun Fast Boy moving out the rail. Here's the favorite, Solomon's Gold. Solomon's Gold now secures the rail and the lead. A Morley Hano is right alongside. Out the center, it's Sigrun Fast Boy, and 4th is Mayhem in the Palace. Then Golden Skull and Litigant. The trailer is Cross Haste. Half a mile away, Solomon's Gold and Elliott sneak free now to lead by 2.5. Up on the inside, Amorle Hano tries to go chase him down while 2nd. Back to 3rd, that's Sigrun Fast Boy. Out in the middle goes Mayhem in the Palace. Then Golden Skull and Cross Haste, and Litigant is last. They round the 4, turn it to 5/16. Solomon's Gold. He leads with his ears up. He's a length and a half in front. Amor Lejano tries to go get him from second. Wide on the course and not kicking in is Mayhem in the Palace. Tried to slide through at the rail as Litigant. They're on their way home. Solomon's Gold.
They let the run one get away.
Now, Amor Lejano's just going to try to hold second as the chicken's flown the coop here. Solomon's Gold. You've got Christopher Elliott, a riding double. Solomon's Gold is 6-5 and an easy winner. Amor Lejano is clearly second. Third, Mayhem in the Palace, and fourth was Golden Skull.
I just want to point out for those trip handicappers, the 7 was extraordinarily and ridiculously wide.
Yeah, for some apparent reason. That was weird. The heck kind of trip was that?
And he took late money, which ended up going off second choice. And prefer that horse next time with an inside post. He was, and if you look at it, if you look at the 7 Mayhem in the Palace, 2 back, he won from the 2 post between horses. So maybe he's maybe he doesn't like rounding turns too well.
Maybe not. That was odd. Let me see. I think we got next here.
Yeah, what's coming up next?
Well, Woody, man, we're getting some races that are back to back. Let's see where Woody's at.
Sure.
Yep, they went off already. See, that's the thing. Gulfstream delays so much that it's going off at the same time as Woody.
Who'd you like here at Woody?
Woody race 3.
You can say you're all over the 1.
I wasn't. I actually had the 3 on top. Oh man, he got bet down to 1 to holy crap, 1 to 2. Yeah, I had a 3 over the 1-5, so I had the try, but not in that order.
Right.
Between the 1 and the 3, if you look at the metrics real quick, and this is weird because I've never seen this. Look at the 2 percentages added up as 90. At the time I did my notes, it was 93%. Yeah, it still is 93.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I've ever seen 2 horses like that.
Even in a 6-horse field, yeah.
Yeah, even in a 6-horse field, right? And you could have won either one of those 2 horses, obviously. Yeah. I think the reason why I went with the 3 is that I felt he had just because of a little bit of the pace advantage. We obviously didn't see the race to see how the pace unfolded, but
yeah.
That's the way I had that one. Let's see where we at.
Yeah, you're right, Mike. I'm looking back at it in retrospect. The 1 and the 3, they're tied for the highest GSR. For again, 93% to win between the 2 of them.
Yeah,
I mean that's so logical. I mean, this is where if you were forced to play the race, you go too deep in your horizontals, and you got the worst outcome because the 1 to 2 shot beat the 2 to 1. But and will I play chalk like this if the race has to be played? If I need to do it, it's a mandatory race in some contest. Yeah, I will. I don't want to give you the impression that I'm totally adverse to playing any chalk. Obviously, if this is easy goer in an allowance race and he's 1 to 5, I'm not putting a huge win bet on it, but I'm singling him in some kind of fashion. I'm not an idiot. Okay, so,
exactly.
Or flight line, and that I had told Matt in our conversation after that bruise that if you're going to put 80,000 to win on a horse, I would flight line's the horse. Okay. Yeah. I'm not going to deny that.
Yeah. The one and only probably horse that I would do that with.
Yeah. Solomon's Gold. That's never.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Scott, Easy Goer or Sunday Silence. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. Easy Goer Sunday Silence. Scott, I was hoping after the Derby that we'd have a similar scenario with journalism and sovereignty. Sovereignty, the East Coast compared to Easy Goer, then journalism, the West Coast, the Sunday Silence, because those rivalries are just fantastic. And of course, I was an Easy Goer fan, being from New York. And that was fun to watch. And you had Affirmed and Alidar, both New York horses, but those rivalries are great for the game. So I was very disappointed that Sovereignty didn't make the Preakness. I don't think, and again, if journalism got that trip that he got on Saturday with Sovereignty in a race, he might not have won that race. So hopefully they will meet in the Belmont at Saratoga. That'll be fantastic.
Yeah, all right, let's go to let's give a Horseshoe some love. How's that sound? Because I think we missed the last Horseshoe race.
Oh, hold on a second. We got Indy 1 that won that race, right? So you got the 2-1. I apologize. I got I got it reversed. So you got the value on top. You got a $6 horse.
All right. Horseshoe Indy race 5, because we can play Horseshoe. Yeah, we can. Sweet.
Okay,
all right.
Let's give Horseshoe some love for Rachel. Racing Rachel.
Racing Rachel. Yeah, yes. These guys are great for us at EquinEdge. And we had Rachel on a couple of weeks ago before the Preakness, I think it was.
Yes, right? And she's always a great guest.
Yeah, she's awesome.
She's got such a bubbly personality and very knowledgeable. She knows her stuff, obviously. All right.
Yeah, so this is main special weight, not much of a pay. This is, I think, came off the turf. Memory serves me correctly. Yep, taken off the turf. So going a mile and a 16th. You look at the first call, but there's really depends on who's going to break. I think that gets to the lead, and the race sim has the 10 kind of running away from everybody, and the 10 is taking the money. If we look at win percentage, top win percentage, top pick, wins the race sim, kind of low end of the GSR spectrum. So let's take a look at that 10 real quick. Just short layoff, just conditioning. Had a 5 furlong work recently, 5 of 16. Dropping down to 44K from 80K. Oh, looks like they're not off yet. Thought maybe they were going off already. Nope. So this is a Walsh horse. He seems, taking him. This is a synthetic horse and turf horse by the looks of it. But Mendelssohn is not a bad dirt, kind of a mixed breed of tracks, and he seems to do pretty well. I got a note 20% on both surface changes, taking horses from synthetic and turf to dirt. And then the jockey here he's pretty decent from what I've been tracking at Indy as far as win percentage and it goes. And this horse has been facing tougher, been in the money all 6 starts, albeit seconds and thirds. That was the one that I had to first look at. But then the other horse I was looking at was a 3, Dairy Girl, if I can talk right. Dale Roman's always dangerous. He seems to always find those prices. Let's see, 4 to 1 right now. Always seems to find those price horses, and also does halfway decent. Again, moving from synthetic to dirt, and even turf to dirt, right around the 15, 18% range. He always, like I said, wins with prices. So if I was going to go against that 10 with a price, that's the 3 is where I was falling.
Okay, yeah, and I'll point out the 3, Dairy Girl, also has a good breeze on May 13th at Churchill. 4 in 47 and 4, pretty solid work. I think I'm in agreement. The 10 Beach Wedding, the top Scotty pick looks pretty good here. But I'm going to go with a different price horse, and that's the 11 Hope Diamond. Just thinking that this horse may improve first time on dirt, coming off the synthetics. I'm getting a price that I like, 7 to 1. So I'll take a chance that this horse can run it. Now it's first time Rusty Arnold. And if you look, I like a work there that this horse has on May 9th, 4 furlongs, 47 and 2 breezing.
Yes, great work.
So maybe the horse can handle the dirt. And again, I'm getting 8 to 1 now, and it's worth the risk at that price, in my opinion. So I'll use the The 11 with the 10.
Not too shabby. All right, so we both have the 10 underneath, and I chose the 3 on top, and you've got the 11 on top.
Correct.
Excellent. All right, let's see what we have here.
All
See what
right.
happens. Get the sound down here. Watch the magic happen with the tote. See who takes last minute money here.
Right.
And I am in that Twin Spires. I haven't
Where are
checked
you
the
making it?
leaderboard.
Yeah. Where are you currently? Where?
I'm in second. I did hit that double. I did cash that double, David, and probably in hindsight should have thrown a little bit less than just the min. But a $5 double turned into $88, so I'll take that.
You're near the 300 mark now in that.
Yeah, I'm at 316, but I got somebody on a couple people on my tail, so.
Oh, you got a guy. This Andrew 616.
Yeah, he. Let's see what happened there. He hit. Well, I don't follow people who play tries, man. So
yeah.
You get lucky and play tries in these things. That's more power to you.
Yeah.
Well,
I will tell you this, and if Tyler's still on, I did have a straight triple in the Preakness with my $80 I had left. I played a $60 straight triples. 2, which was journalism, 9 Gosker with the 1 goal oriented, and that triple would have got me between $3 and $4 grand. So that would have been a nice ROI for the day. But unfortunately, the 1 could only run 4th. I'm like, I had a chance. So you got, in these contests, you got to play what can get you to a point. And in retrospect, should have taken the $80 and made a straight $80 exact at 2.9. Yeah. And I would have got my money back for the contest. But I'm looking to expect, possibly have some kind of crazy shot to get some money in that prize money.
Less than 1 minute this time. Start to the late pick 4%.
Yeah, it was a crazy race. We get some time gap in here. We'll talk about that. We'll talk a little hockey here. I know we got some time coming up here that I'm sure we'll have a chance to chat about it. While we're waiting, thank you all for joining today. If you haven't figured this out yet, David and I have been experimenting with a new show that Scotty's allowed us to do here called EquinEdge Live. I believe Scotty had mentioned they had done the show many, many years ago. Wanted to revive it, and I asked David and I if we can make it work, and we were trying to, as our busy schedules permit, on a Thursday afternoon, and then as the schedule of horse racing permits, right? So that we don't want to have too much gap in between races, and we also want to have something that's pretty competitive to throw up on our screens too. So barring all that, we will be here on Thursday afternoons, probably around the same time, again, depending on the races and so on and so forth. But thank you all for joining.
Yes, absolutely.
Please subscribe, follow, hit the like button. It helps us out. If you subscribe and follow us, you'll get all the live shows coming up. We'll do, I think Oldie and Justin are on tonight doing the weekend preview show, which is always great. Find a bunch of winners for the weekend stakes races. And then the stretch run this Saturday afternoon as well with Oldie and Justin. And I'm sure they'll have some special guests battered in there like they always do.
Manny Esquivel, Hummel coming up. Couple back. Evan Roman with Beach Wedding.
All right, I'm just playing them in here to get some men's in and wait till the last couple races, David.
So is that a show wager for you, Mike?
Nah, I did a win wager. Sometimes I'll do a show wager, but.
Very good luck, everybody. I'm on the 10 with the 11, and Mike's on the 10 with the 3.
They're off.
Oh,
and the 11 went sideways.
Oh, well. Now he's going to rush up and totally destroy the horse.
Make the way into the first turn. It is Derry Girl. Derry Girl.
Thank you, Jay.
Abel Castillo with 7 furlongs to run. Hummel is right there with the red cap. Beach Weddings in the 3-path. Tunnel Laughs is saving ground after breaking slow. Hope Diamond is up into second to last position, and Evelina trails. The leader here is Derry Girl. Nice and easy out in front. It's Derry Girl who dictates her own turn.
Low fraction, 24 and change. Not
Beach Wedding and Tunnel
pretty
Last
modest.
third and fourth. Hope Diamond is about 7 lengths off this leader. Derry Girl for the run to the half-mile pole. And following Hope Diamond, Evelina remains last to the sextet. The quarter 24.48 seconds now at the 4.5. It's Derry Girl. So Derry Girl leads them toward the far turn as Humboldt stays right there with the leader for Manning.
Half and 49.
Meantime, Beach Wedding is tracking third for Evan Roman. Half mile went in a flat 49 seconds. Then the Tunnel Laughs with Hope Diamond and Evelina remains the trailer. The front runner, Derry Girl. So now 3 furlongs from the winning line for Derry Girl. Derry Girl, and here comes this bid now by Humboldt, and here comes Beach Wedding. It's steering up. Beach Wedding has taken charge. Coming toward the quarter pole. Humboldt tries to respond to the move by Beach Wedding as they come toward the top of the stretch.
Get up.
The Laughs, Hope Diamond, and Evelina.
Done.
And the 3-year-old fillies into the stretch after 3 quarters in just over 1:14. It's Beach Wedding. Beach Wedding kept to the task. Humboldt gamely second toward the inside. These two now have made a break from Derry Girl third, Tunnel Laughs in fourth. They're coming past the 16th, the daughter of Mendelssohn, Beach Wedding. Evan Roman for Brendan Walsh, a Godolphin win, Beach Wedding. Reports home by 3.5 from Humboldt.
Beach Wedding, easiest kind of winner, as they say, with the second choice.
Yeah, right.
Plugging up for second. You got the chalky exacta.
Yeah, that's exactly what I hit in the first race.
Right.
What'd that pay? Let's see. With the 10 over the 9. Actually, not too bad. 4-1. Better than my $2 and whatever it got back down to in the first race.
Okay, Matt.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right. We do have a little bit of gap here before Gulfstream Park Race 8. Looks like is our next chance.
Sure. Well, so how many minutes to post do we have at Gulfstream? Let me just pull up my EquinEdge here and change.
11.
Oh yeah. So what do you want to talk about? The Preakness, or do you want to talk about a little hockey?
Let's talk Preakness. We can save hockey for later.
Okay.
Give ourselves 5 minutes or so to talk Preakness and
sure.
Our opinions and thoughts and
I'll start out.
Go for it.
That it was, to me, watching that stretch run and where journalism was positioned by Rispoli. I was always thinking around the turn that what is going on? He's not getting the perfect trip or good trip, not perfect trip. He's not even getting a good trip. I was under the impression that he was going to swing to the outside to get a clear run. And you saw what happened. He went for the move between two horses. Now, 90% of the time when that happens and you're squeezing between horses and you get pinched like that, 90% of jockeys what are they going to do? They're going to protect the horse. They're going to take up and let the horses go by. And then, whatever it is, you're protecting the horse. To try to squeeze through that and bowl through there, wow. I mean, that was risky. And I don't know if I was an owner of that horse, I would have been, just terrified at that point. And I'm sure Mike McCarthy, the trainer, if you saw the interviews, he was like speechless. He was probably thinking, God, I hope the horse is going to be okay. It's very, very questionable, that move. But he did get through, and it looked like he was going to be a clear second. So, okay, good. So he's got 2 Triple Crown races, and he's going to have second in both. He was making a run, and I thought they were just going to wrap up and look around, and Rispoli was going to say, I got second in a grade 1. But that horse went into another gear, and I've never seen that happen. You would think, does he have a chance? And he just went into a gear, and that horse has some heart. What a performance. It might have been probably the greatest performance that I've seen in a Triple Crown or a grade 1 race in my life with traffic like that. There was only one other race I can remember, and I'm going to I should have looked it up before, but it was the Preakness, and a horse was around a turn and got taken up and almost went down, ended up winning the race. You didn't remember, and I should have looked it up. I
can't think of the name.
And he ended up winning the Belmont, but this was superior in my opinion, because normally horses, when they have trouble like that, they're going to be, it takes them a while to get moving, and they're not going to win. They're going to get second. It was outstanding. It was unbelievable, and I was just amazed.
Yeah, there's so much to unpack with that finish.
Mhm.
I mean, even the full trip itself, right?
Yeah.
There's criticism of Rispoli and his whole ride to begin with, and then him having the cojones to make that move in the first place. And then there's talk of, are they going to keep him on that horse, knowing what the movie tried to pull? I have to give him a lot of credit for making that move, because I don't know too many jockeys outside of maybe Irad that would probably try to make that move. To your point, most would probably pull up and try to swing wide to get around the 2 to 3 horses that he had to go around. He may have still won the race doing that. You saw the turn of foot that he had to catch Gosker at the end. So who knows, right? We won't know unless he ever gets that chance to do that type of a move, right? To swing him outside, pull him up and swing outside. But knowing what they saw there, that's probably the right move for a jockey. I'm no jockey. I'm never been on a horse in those situations, so I can't overly criticize that. Just being a horse player for so many years and seeing many trips, that is very dangerous, right? I think we would all agree that is very, very dangerous. I am curious what they're going to do with him riding that horse again, based off of what they saw and based off of the performance of that horse and the move that he made, right? If he's got that turn of foot, maybe the right move next time is to swing out and not try to do that again. I'm hope they had a strong conversation. They're happy they won. I hope they have a strong conversation with them. And then the flip side of it is the whole Pratt ride and what he did. And personally, and everyone has their opinions, I didn't see anything wrong that Flavien did. I'm not being biased because he is my favorite jockey, but he was holding strong. I mean, any other jockey, I don't think would done anything different than what Pratt did, right? It's not like he was tugging on him to cut him off. He was running straight. Did the horse kind of buck in a little bit? Sure. Lug in a little bit, maybe. But he was just trying to run straight, and that's what you want to do. Closest, right? The quickest place from point A to point B is a straight line, and why would he want a horse to go left and right?
Right, and again, with that taking up or swinging wide, he would have lost a lot of ground, but I still think he would have, got up. But let's cut to the chase. I mean, I don't want to, rain on his parade, which I'm not. That's not my intention. It was an incredible performance, and that is a super horse, in my opinion. He's got a bright future. But let's keep in mind too, he wasn't running down American Pharoah. He was running down Gosker. Now, I like Gosker. I thought Gosker would improve off the Lexington, but he ran down a horse that was a 4th career start, and his best accomplishment was winning a Grade 3 that most experts thought was a pretty weak field and a pretty slow time. But he, to me, it looked like he fit in the race, and it was worth the price, right? I thought he was. I really, hammered you exactly in that one direction. And it was Gosker he chased down. He didn't chase down American Pharoah. He didn't chase down Justify. But, I'm not trying to diminish the performance. It was fantastic. But, I mean, other horses he probably wouldn't have caught, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. That is a good point. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens next, right? Who gets the ride, and that'll be the talk.
No, I can't wait for the moment. That's going to be. I just hope we get some of the main plans. I really hope Gaeza makes that race now Rodriguez. Rodriguez, from what I've seen, the possible entrance, Rodriguez looks like he's going to be the lone speed, and you know how dangerous, Mike, at 1.25 miles. Saratoga lone speed is, and you look at last year's Belmont Racing Festival. That was a highway, a speedball highway. So if you get a similar track, I mean, it's going to be tough for anybody to catch Rodriguez. And so I saw some speculation where is McCarthy or maybe Mott going to put a rabbit in the race, right? So I don't know. I don't like to see that personally, but.
But it's a smart move.
Yeah.
Yep, it's a smart move. We'll see what happens. See what the entries come out and what'll unfold after that.
We got some time.
All right, buddy. Let's get into Gulfstream Park Race 8. We got a few minutes plus their merry-go-round, so we got probably 6 or 8 minutes.
Sure. So Gulfstream Park Race 8. We're back to the turf. We got 7.5 furlongs for it's a Florida bred incentive, so this is open company. But I did look at this race, and here's the thing. Fredo, look, I always remember, I know this horse, Fredo, 29 starts. He was on the New York circuit for a while. I think he went wire to wire. I got to look at the past performances, but he went wire to wire in a turf race at Saratoga. And I'm going to pull that race up. It's way in the past. Let me go to all past performances. So, so to me, Fredo was a he was sprinting, but more like I think his best distance was, going mile and the 16th with a chance to just speed ball the field and wire fields. He's only 2 for 29. I mean, you look at his last 3 or 4 races, he seems to have lost his speed. I mean, so that's always a red flag to me. Yeah. And you're looking at the price now at 7 of 5. Do I want a 2 for 29 lifetime? He did make up ground. He did run well last time out, but there's not a lot of speed in here. And he should be on the lead or close to it. The 4's got speed. I'm not a big fan of the 4 at all. I'm not sure that again, the 4 has won at Gulfstream. It comes off a second race off a layoff, may improve, but in all honesty, Mr. Barrio is probably a horse that, if you look at the last race, Fredo lost to Mr. Barrio, finished 4th, and there's only a half length, like a blanket finish. So Fredo can easily reverse that. So those are 2 usable horses. But in all honesty, flat top box to me is in good form. And it may be a loyalty thing for me because he was one of my only winners on NHC weekend on March 13th. It gave me a little hope, and I'm like, all right, I'm getting hot, but I wasn't getting hot for too long. So I just think this horse is in good form, though. So I'd probably lean to the 5 flat top box here at 9 to 1. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with the 5. It was in good form seems to be improving with each start, is moving up, but I like to see that improvement too over the last few races, and that's what you're seeing with this horse here. So I actually had him underneath the 8. Mr. Barrio was the one I was looking at. I was same and kind of similar analysis you had with Fredo. I didn't even nothing's impressing me with Fredo, and at that price, I have to look elsewhere. Did win against, is stepping up, but did win against 60 SOR in that 25 claimer last out. From off the pace, there isn't going to be much pace to run into here. So the only thing I'm concerned about is the 8. Is he going to be more forwardly placed enough that I see that's probably going to have to be in a more forwardly placed position to win. The other horse I was looking at was the 7 Fragon. I don't know if that's how you say Fregan or Fragan. Fragan horse. Fragan horse. So many ways you can go with that.
Yeah. One is last time, anyway. Those are 2, yeah.
Yeah. So another winner last out, coming from off the pace. I like how it finished. It was 2 back and 5th, and then finished 3 lengths ahead. And I didn't look at the rest of the field. And, against 50 SOR, it's not too bad compared to the 50 running here. So that was the other one. I love Vino Rosso, and any colt or filly or mare coming out of Vino, I'll take any day. Or take a good look at anyway. I didn't look at Sanchez. It looks like they swapped trainer second time with the horse. So second try here in a row on the turf, cuts back a little bit. That was the other horse I was looking at, David, was the 7 to possibly win as well. But I thought this was a tough race. I really couldn't. I didn't have a strong opinion here. But the 3 and the 8, I don't want. If I'm getting away from those low price horses, that's where I fell, was on Fraggin Horse or the 5 as well, Flat Top Box.
Right. And don't get me wrong. I mean, to me, Fredo, based on his back class, he's raced against some tougher. He may be the fastest horse in the race, but anytime you have a horse that used to show more early speed and has lost that, I'm thinking maybe, he's 6 years old. He may have lost a step or two. He's a 6-year-old. He's had 29 starts. Is he the same horse as he was a year or two or 3? I'm not sure. Obviously, if I was using horizontal wagers, I say it's obviously a must include. I'm not saying he's a toss, but I prefer the 5. And I think, the 1, look at it this way, the 1 just lost to Flat Top Box at 25-1 on April 4th by like a nose. So I wouldn't be surprised if Remington runs, decent enough to hit the board here and got a nice inside post.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, good catch on that 1.
Yeah, I thought the 1's a little bit of a sleeper to, in the place of show spots.
Yeah, good luck. I'm going to stick with the 7-5 on top, one of those 2. Yeah, no strong opinion between the 2 of them.
Yeah, and if I'm going 3 deep here in horizontals, I'd use the 3, the 1, 3, and the 5. Trying to the 8 from that outside post. That's the horse that I'd leave out.
Yeah,
again, 4 for 29. It is with 11 third place finishes, leaves a little room for some skepticism. All right, good luck, everybody. They're off.
Oh, the sound on.
Moving out the rail, Remerton's on the go. Splitting horses, Centeza won't be far away. And
nobody wanted to lead, so the 1 takes it.
Length and a half to Stroke of Midnight, who comes away toward the rail in front of the 2 favorites, Fredo, who's a length better than Mr. Arborio, and then 3 to Disattached, who is indeed that at the back of the field. Around the first turn they go. Remerton used hard for the advantage, pushed harder by Centeza on the outside. Flat Top Box making the top 2 work well, 3 wide in third. Stroke of Midnight 4th at the rail. Followed 5th by Frigone. Then it's a length back
Frigone.
For company is Mr. Arborio, and 3 to Disattached. Opening quarter 23-1. They race to the half-mile point. Remerton holds a narrow advantage. Centeza second. Flat Top Box, it's a 3 wide third. Stroke of Midnight, patient at the rail in 4th. Followed 5th by Frigone. Then it's back to Mr. Arborio together with Fredo, and 3 wide Disattached.
Fredo's not firing at all.
Turn they race.
No.
45-4 for the opening half.
Ooh, that's fast.
Disattached, and now the favorites are last. And
I don't think it's 5 can hold of those fractions.
They stack, they pack. Who gets through? Mr. Arborio trying to slid through traffic. Fredo has the same problem. Mr. Arborio is going to get loose first. 1/8 of a mile to go. Stroke of Midnight up to take the lead. Mr. Arborio charging to challenge. Fredo ducks to his inside. Stroke of Midnight tries to hold firm. Mr. Arborio tries to catch it.
Oh, got it. 6 got it.
Stroke of Midnight game. Mr. Arborio run alongside. And for sure, Fredo is third. 126-4.
Wow. That's 6, huh?
Yeah, I'm just looking. I mean, it looked a little cheap for me. But again, Fredo, I didn't trust. You got to use. But yeah, I don't think Fredo's the same horse. He doesn't have the speed that he once possessed. But you get a 9-1. You got a
that's great.
Very nice price.
Great price
in a competitive race. And Mr. Arborio, had a perfect trip from the outside and didn't get it done.
Yeah, very interesting.
And you'll find too. And again, to me, it's a percentage. It's not really a handicapping tool. But if you look at percentages of these horses, very rarely do they win 2 in a row, right? So you can say, well, that doesn't mean that's ridiculous logic. And I've heard other horse players tell me that. But it's just a percentage type of thing that, he just won his last race. And then, of course, players say, well, he's getting into form. I'm like, well, tell me when he's gotten into form before where he's won multiple races in a row.
Yeah.
Then I can buy that. So
yeah, that's a good point.
Just a percentage thing.
Yeah, very good point. Yeah, I guess this 6, recency is not too shabby.
No, I mean, he was a contender. I think it was one that we unfortunately both over. But Mike, the issue was with me. This horse was running in a $16,000 non-resident 2 lifetimes, and that's 16 allowance. Allowance. I mean, he ran decent there, but to me, this was a tougher group.
Yeah.
And he got dusted. He kind of got dusted by Mr. Barrio back in December, right? So, but that was on Tapeta. So, but if you had him, that's a great value, great price at 9-1.
Yeah, heck yeah. All right. Looks like we got Indy race 6. Probably the next one we can grab onto here. 4 minutes to post.
All right, let me just pull up Horseshoe Indy.
Man, let's see. I have some.
Oh, this is a large field here. I'll let you go.
This was a tough one, to be quite honest with you. We got quite a few ponies in this one. So let's just start with pace. Looks like there's quite a bit of it in here. We'll go through the first call. So sorting it by pace, it says the 1-5-2 should, or 1-5-12 should all be up front, kind of following suit with the race sim. The 12 takes the lead in a race sim. We move to the second call, and with these many horses, still shows the 12 in front and the 5 and 1 kind of falling back behind. And then we get to the stretch. We could probably eliminate a couple of these so we can see them all here almost. Maybe that 8, we don't care about that too much. And then in the finish, you see they're all trying to pass by that 12. So I was looking at the 12. It does break really well. It will need to from that post, obviously, to get in front of the inside speed that he's going to have with the 5 and the 1. Looks like wants the lead, needs the lead. Tried to rate last out, didn't fare too well, actually lost ground. Looking at the trouble line, just ran out of gas, it looks like. So then I was looking at the 10, Catatonic, coming off a layoff for Ravelli, and Escovel on top on the mount here. Has faced tougher that last race out, finished second, 3 3/4 lengths back. Conditioning's pretty good. Last 5 furlong work, not too shabby. It's all right. Nothing to write home about. So the 10 was one I was looking for because he has been in the money both races and lightly raced. Then I was looking at the Hoosier Promise, is the other horse with Pedrosa aboard. Pretty decent jockey here at Indy. Been in the money all 4 races. Does have a win 2 back here at Indy on a fast track at 5.5 furlongs against the 50 group. Similar company last out, similar SOR, finished a length or quite a bit back in third, 8 1/4 length. So I'm not quite sure that she has it in her to get on top. And then the last horse I was looking at here is Fat Chance. Did win last out, and we were just talking about how tough it is to win 2 back. And then steps up in class in the maiden win. You know, I just looked at it because of the lightly raced horse and training well off of the leading up to that win. So I thought this was a very difficult race, David. I didn't have a very strong opinion here. But if I was going to hang my hat on any one of these horses, it was either the 10 Catatonic, coming from off the stalking position, rating for Ravelli. Maybe probably because it's a Ravelli horse is where I was looking at. I don't like the 2-1 line. So if I was looking for a price, the other horse I was looking at would be the 4 Hoosier Promise. at a price.
Mike, we're sort of on the same page here. Part of the issue here is the 10 is off of a layoff since October of 2024, and broke its maiden over the track 5.5, and then had the lead in that allowance race, and then was a 2 lifetime, and finished second. I mean, obviously eligible to win this race, very good chance to win this race, but I'll always give a horse 1 race off a layoff just before it shows its best. So if I'm comparing the 10 to the 12 Wicked Vet, the 12 has had a start over the track. It did break its maiden on this track. Similar profile, a second race in October of 2024, which it won. That's where it broke its maiden, I'm sorry. In its second start at less than even money at 3-5. And now has a comeback race, which maybe will benefit this horse with a race under her belt. I think this horse is probably, let's see, the pace metric, who's got the top, I looked at that, 83. Yeah, this horse, she'll be rating from the outside post, and I'd give the advantage to the 12 over the 10. So it would be 12 for me here.
Okay.
Just because of the recency. The horse has had a race off the layoff, sometimes second race, especially the 3-year-olds will improve drastically.
Yeah, and I think, if I'm, my contest here is debating, it's not I've got one more not mandatory, but meant to make probably before the last race. So I was trying to, in the spirit of keeping it simple, it's either a win bet, on that 4, or trying to do something with the 12 either.
Oh, yeah. Mike, just throw your whole $366 on to win on the 12, and you're fine. Then you get up to that first spot, and then you can just relax, have a cigar, have a beer, and you're good.
Yeah, that's what I should do. If I was more confident about this race, I would.
Right. But in these contests, these type of twin spires, you don't need to do something like that. It's not like you're going for a major bankroll at the top, and is where the pool, the prize money is disproportionate, where you've got such a top level of first place that it's not like the NHC, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. Let's see where they're at. They should be probably approaching the gate here. Yeah, these guys lag a little bit. The gate, get to the gate.
Yeah, so those of you who think I would never play chalk, if I was going to, and because we have a nice weekend card coming up here, I'm not going to fire big time here, but I mean, I would just make for me, a substantial win bet on a 12 here. There you go. Thank you. Down to 2-1. So I will play chalk. But if this horse goes down to 1 to even money or 6-5, then I'm off. But 2-1, I just think this horse, based on that race back, has an advantage over this, or may have an advantage over the 10. 10 might be a better horse. We'll see. And of course, this is a race where you're always looking for value. 43-1, the 6 will win, and I'm like, I'm not looking for value that doesn't seem to exist at all because the horse can't run. So I need an excuse for long shots that I'm playing.
Color me fast.
Justification, I mean.
Abel Cedillo with
good luck, everybody. They're loading in.
Marcelino Pedrosa Jr. with Who's Your Promise.
I'll tell you what I played here in a sec.
Oh, okay. Yep. We want to
gift box filling. Now, Who's Your Promise?
And we should go off after this right to the first race at Churchill, because for the first race at Churchill it's a good field. First race coming up.
Who's Your Promise is joined up. Alberto Burgos with Little Ransom's Fire. Gavin Ashton. War Trinkets going in. Mitchell Murrell. Fat Chance. B flat out. Devin Roman riding for a double. Now Sammy Bermudez with Wicked Vet.
I tell you one thing, I do like Horseshoe's camera angles at the gate.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're one of the coolest ones. They show you down the line a lot, the overheads.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
6 furlongs.
Well, Dan says the 12 has no shot from that post, but we will see, my friend. We will see.
Joe Ramos for Randy Klopp with a win on the card.
Sure, I'd like a more inside post, but don't forget, you've got some scratches here.
And they're off. Wicked
I
Vet.
have the 12 for Exacta for $5 and $4 and $5 on the 4.
Right there now from the rail with a bid. It's
Play my min.
for
And then we'll
Bermudez.
worry about the
Oh,
last
8 to
race.
5. 8 to 5. And I did not make a substantial win bet. So none of my money on that.
Firing fast next in 5th. On the outside. Getting Brown is
And
G-
Dan,
Got the
only
lead like we thought.
yeah, when the post is not a factor when you can gun to the lead. The
Yep.
post, he negated that outside post issue. Now, can he hold on? I'm not sure. We'll
Brown's
find
the
out.
Phillies mare sprint. And back of a quarter. Whiz past at 22.21 seconds. Wicked Vet. So it's Wicked Vet on the engine here coming from
4
the
is
first pole.
dead last.
Now making a bid into second from Little Ransom's Fire, Color Me Fast. On the outside, G-Force Jimmy straightens away a wide 5th. Catatonic in 6th or 7th as they come.
Come on, 4. Get up there.
Last mile 45.97 seconds.
That's fast.
That looking to finish.
Now he's
along.
throwing up. This horse is gone.
Buffer zone here on Color Me Fast. Fat Chance now
Yeah,
one.
4 didn't
On
make
the
it.
outside is G-Force Jimmy, who continues to gain, but they're near home with Sammy.
You're,
It's
I
Wicked
should have
Vet.
listened to you. I played that.
There you go. What is
Big
it?
win bet, right?
366 to win on the 12, and you'd be home free, my friend. So for those of you who say I don't play chalk,
There you go. Good
first to
call.
chalk, there you go. I didn't expect 8 to 5. I expected 2 to 1, but he ended up going off as the favorite. So, and again, if I'm going to bet chalk, I want him to win like that, right? You don't want to sweat chalk out 8 to 5.
Exactly. All right, let's see where we're at. We're church.
All right, Wiz. Thanks for lowering the price for me, but only busting you. You're welcome.
Nice whiz. Blackjack. All right. Churchill Downs.
Oh, right. Churchill Downs. The only thing I'll say, I started handicapping this I was having my car in for service, and I got my laptop out, and I'm like, wow, I'm intrigued by this race. You've got Dragoon Guard in here. You got Tumbarumba. You've got a Cassie horse with Ortiz that looks like it's in form. So we're going a mile, 8 furlongs on the dirt. And you've got Dragoon Guard as the prohibitive favorite, coming off a layoff out of the Pence PA Derby, where, by the way, he did not get the job done. He lost to Seize the Gray, but looks like the speed, well, I'd say now he's going to rate off the 3. The 3 is the speed of the race, but I think he's cheaper speed. But, the thing is, Mike, part of my success over the years is playing against horses exactly like this profile. I mean, horses, grade 1, grade 2. Actually, this is a grade 3 winner, not a grade 1 winner, but competed in the Pennsylvania Derby, which was a good field. Betting against these horses coming back in allowance races, because this is not their goal, right? He hasn't been out since September. This is a prep race. This is not a race that they targeted. They need to get this horse back on the track. It is Brad Cox, normally has his horses ready. I didn't know that. But again, the horse is, 6 starts, never been off the board, will hit the board in this race. But is he got enough? Does he have enough conditioning? He may romp, but 3 to 5, obviously is a must use. But it's hard for me to, just have total confidence in a horse like this. And that being said, the horse that I thought was the second likeliest winner was Tumbarumba. But lately, to me, a mile was always his best distance. And maybe he's a Gulfstream Park horse. I know he's won races at Churchill. has he gone off form a bit? I mean, he's had like, well, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 races this year where he was live and bet and he finished second. Second race off a layoff. I mean, might want to throw out that Westchester, a muddy track. Again, he probably will improve, and he probably is the second most likeliest winner here. But I'm a little skeptical about Tumbarumba also.
Yeah.
So the horse that I am going to try to match with Dragoon Guard is a little bit of a more value, is the 1 Classic Car Wash, shipping up from Oaklawn, cutting back. I always like to cut back. You got Jose Ortiz aboard. I mean, 2 back. This horse won a nice mile race at Oaklawn. Last race out, maybe a mile and a 16th, a little too far. So the cutback's the key. Mark Cassie's having a great year and a half or 2-year period. And I think this horse is a little bit live. So I would match up the 1 Classic Car Wash here with Dragoon Guard. I mean, Frosted Departure will have the lead. Dragoon Guard, Stalk probably take the lead. I just think the 1 might get a really good trip as a closer from the rail, rating and making a rally. So I'd be on a 1-6-6-1 here.
Yeah, I think you have it nailed. I can't disagree with anything you said. Again, it's hard to not include the Cox horse.
Yeah.
I know Hot Rod. I know Hot Rod's not a fan of Flo. It's for me. I don't know. He's hit or miss. I get it, but him and Cox are fine together. It's not a worry to me as far as the jockey goes. But to your point, he needs to just get on the track and run. And can he win? Sure, heck yeah, he can easily win. I mean, compared to every other horse in here, he's just as good, if not better. I did notice the GSR drop, and that's always something that alarms me when you make that big of a GSR drop. And I don't know, all of the analytics behind it, but that's a huge drop, 20 points. And that's usually if it's that big of a drop, it kind of is alarming for me.
Oh yeah.
The 1 Classic Car Wash, I did like the EE morning line angle as well on that horse, on top of everything that you already said. And then Tumbarumba was the other horse that I was looking at. Does have the club back class coming in second off the layoff for Lynch. Was he 15%? Doesn't scare me about that percentage wise anyway. But does got his second start here. So the 5 was the other horse I was looking at to I don't know if he'll win. He might. But for me, it was either the 5 or the 1 over the 6 or the 5 over the 6. I think the 6 is going to come in second.
Right. So we're basically on the same page here. Yeah. And again, it would surprise me if Dragoon Guard was ready to run. It's not the most strongest field. It's an intriguing race. There's some good horses in here, and Tumbarumba can improve. Maybe didn't like the muddy track, but if I start looking for value here, it seemed like Classic Car Wash was the 1 to look for.
Yeah, I want to look at, because I think Giroux's doing pretty well. Yeah, no, he's not. I wasn't sure. I was thinking someone else. He's only 3 for 34 at the meet. So, if you care about jockey stats at the meet, that's not all that great for for Flo. That's the only negative right now, and they're the 2 of them together. So I said I'm not usually worried about those 2, but they're only 1 for 15 at the meet. See, that's why.
I'm sorry, Mike. I'm just looking at Hot Rod. This is a tougher field than what just a touch faced when he came off the layoff. Yeah, I don't. I remember just.
Yeah, good point, Scott.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Yeah, that's
Oldie. I'm sorry, Mike. Oldie, I think at a mile he may be able to rate a bit, but you're right. I mean, if he gets involved with the 3 early, then it just sets up for the 1, in my opinion, a little better.
I agree. Yeah, I don't know, Oldie. I mean, at 8 at the mile, maybe he can rate. I don't know. It's again, I don't like that GSR drop, man. It scares the heck crap out of me.
Right. But the SOR from Dragoon Guard, PA Derby was a 76 and 572. But the West Virginia Derby was only a 72 that he won. The Indiana Derby was a 72. So he's won against his. But, the West Virginia and Indiana Derbies, I think there's some horses that are just as good in here. And now you're facing, you're facing older here, right? So.
Yeah. I wish we could play it, but we can't.
Oh, I'll watch it. I'm probably about 10 minutes behind you.
They're loading in the game.
And I have to tell you, Mike, and looking at it, if I can get 10-1 on Classic Car Watch, I think is a good price. I mean, could it be 6.5, 5.6? Those maybe the two fastest horses in the race. But yeah, I'm liking that 10-1.
I do too. I like it a lot. They're off, and that's hard to see. Yeah, who's in front? Frosted Departure.
Oh, here you go. And now they're all going to go.
Yeah, we'll find out if Dragoon Guard can rate.
One's sitting a perfect trip.
He is. I don't know, Dragoon Guard looks like he's loaded, but he's going 3 wide. One's got the rail trip. Come on, baby.
See the fractions, yeah.
I didn't see the fractions either. No, one didn't have anything. No gas.
No, the one, no good. The two's the one making a run.
Yep. Wow. Didn't even look at that. He's going to get him. Wow. The wrong closer.
Yep.
There he is, Dallas Stewart. How do we not look at Dallas Stewart?
Yeah, I did look. I'm looking for a closer, and the closer I came up, then Dallas Stewart.
Shame on us.
And that Dragoon Guard got beat. And like I said, over the years, I've had a lot of success betting against graded stakes horses coming back first time off a layoff. And again, I had the right angle, but the wrong horse to beat him with.
Yeah, nobody had it, Hot Rod. It's like that was an oversight, man. I
guess Oldie had it. Oldie's going boom.
Yeah, Oldie got it. Yeah, good Oldie.
Got it.
Gosh, overlooked Dallas Stewart at Churchill Downs on a price horse. Come on, man.
Right, and I thought if you're looking back, that sloppy track race over Keeneland was a good race. But the horse had won before on a sloppy track. So I thought the wet moved it up, tap it. Had a good workout on April 17th. But, 0 for 3 over the Churchill course, never hitting the board. But this was the spot today. Took advantage of a contentious pace and got the job done.
Dang. Yeah, good call. Good call on that, too.
Okay. Right. Where are we heading next?
I think we got Gulfstream Park, race 9.
Oh, okay. We got another, I believe this is a turf sprint.
No, it's our favorite sprint.
The Tapeta sprint. Okay, yeah, 8,000 claimer. And I can roll past this pretty quickly because I'm going to use a horse here for modest play. Just on a... not a hunch play, just out of, I guess, loyalty that this horse had made me a pretty good chunk of change on January 10th, when Scott and I were doing a show at 18-1. Sometimes this horse, the 3 Spirit of Victory, Cluceris, this horse needs pace. Okay. And we've seen the other 5 furlongs Tapeta race, right, go wire to wire. So I'm going to just take a chance. And he's got the worst pace metric in the race. He's got a 20. But you got the 1 and the 2 going at it. The 7 should be right off there. I like the post. He's not drawing wide, the 3. So what's the current odds? I think I like it. So I'll make it quick. I'm just going with the price and hoping I get a contentious pace. Not putting a lot of thought into it. Just give me Spirit of Victory to be closing from the clouds and get up.
Yeah, I feel that there will be a pretty decent pace here between the 1 and the 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking for somebody just off. The 3 was not even what I was looking at, obviously.
Oh, okay.
But so I was looking at the 7. Xenon has shown, it won way back in January.
Yeah.
And the starter optional claimers against 54 SOR group. Again, probably needs that pace to run into to replicate that. Has done fairly. I mean, seems like a horse that has been steady as far as running style since then. And I didn't have time to look at race replays or anything like that to see what kind of pace was taking place in these races. So one can only assume.
Mm-hmm.
But it was more forwardly placed last time. With maybe a hotter pace and a little bit more forwardly placed, I thought that she had a chance. And the other one was Spicy Guacamole. I do love that name. It's a pretty darn cool name. Another one that's shown that she could run off the pace. Barbosa gets off the claim at 35%. That was another biggie for me here. The only knock is, and we talk about this all the time, I always watch this as the back-to-back wins. Can she win again against Tougher here? So that's the thing. The only knock on the 8 is she's facing Tougher here. And can she jump up and win? I don't know. I kind of had her underneath. So the horse I fell on here was Xenon at a price at 10-1 to upset Miss Peggy Sue. I love you.
Okay, I'm going to give you some input here, Mike. I did look at Xenon, and it looks like originally it's a class drop, right, from a 17.5 claimer to an 8. But if you look at the SOR, it's a 54. You look at Spirit of Victory's last race, an 8,000 beaten claimer, a 54 SOR. I think the difference is the 7 is a 3-year-old filly and it was racing in that 17.5 claimer against straight 3-year-olds. So it's an age thing. Maybe it's the same class because it's not an older 3 and up. Yeah. So to me, it's the same race based on, and that's where the EquinEdge SOR comes in real handy, because on the surface before EquinEdge, I'd say that's a big class drop. So this horse is, but then you would notice it's 3-year-olds. She's racing only against strictly 3-year-olds. Now she's going against older. So that's probably the difference. So to me, there's no difference between those two horses. Except Xenon does have a little bit more pace, right? Because Spirit of Victory's got nothing. It's got a 20. But I just also want to point out about Spicy Guacamole. Barbosa 35% off the claim. And to me, that's a must use just because of that. So I'm going to be on the 3 here, but Spirit of Victory. And before the race goes off, because I'll forget, Hot Rod, did you ask the question? We see Dragon Guard next out in the stake race or another allowance. Hot Rod, I was under the impression that this was a prep race for Dragon Guard for the Stephen Foster, but I may be wrong, but that's the impression I had.
Yeah, I would agree. Let's see. Hold on real quick. Let me go back here. There's another point I wanted to make, and now I forgot what it was. 53. What was it?
But based on that performance, and maybe they should ship him up for a $75,000, $80,000 claimer at Belmont at the Big A. To me, he's more of a mile horse. So I don't know. One more rate, maybe mile. Throw him in there. It's going to be a huge price. I don't know. could have a chance if there's a lot of speed doesn't show up to them at mile, but I'm sure that's not going to be the case.
The horses are at the gate. It's now post time. Moving in for a start, race number 9. The 5-2 favorite has the inside draw. 1, Peggy Sue, I Love You. Edwin Gonzalez looks for his second riding victory of the day. 3-1, Respect, right next door. And 2, Starship Voyager. Jose Morelos for Starship Stables and Heather Smullen. Action for 6, Sugar Treat. Rich Averill's Averill Racing Stables are the owners. Edgar Zayas for Safi Joseph Jr. And then 4-1, Spicy Guacamole. Apprentice Gilbert Torres.
Love that name.
High five finale to high five full
Spicy Guacamole.
$5,000. Xenon goes forward. Second last to move in is she. Draw on the outside, Spicy Guacamole.
Good luck, everybody. In this
Ready now for the Thursday finale. In the gate. And runners away. Perfect start. From the inside, Starship Voyager and Peggy Sue, I Love You, the first 2 to begin. Sugar Treat joins them. These 3 almost in line, but now Starship Voyager kicks into gear and leads by a length and a quarter. Off the inside, Peggy Sue, I Love You.
Good luck with the one, Tyler.
Spicy Guacamole from between Xenon. Sugar Treat gets shuffled to 5th with an inside lane. 2 in front of Spirit of Victory. The 2 at the back are Mean to Me and Go-Go Star. Around the far turn they race. It's Starship Voyager with the inside edge and the lead. Peggy Sue, I Love You in a more earnest position to try to get on terms. 3 back to Spicy Guacamole, then Xenon and Spirit of Victory, and they're on their way home. They went the opening quarter in 21-2, and they swing for home. On the outside, Peggy Sue, I Love You tries to get Starship Voyager. Starship Voyager still the leader. Peggy Sue, I Love You within a half a length second with a 16th to go. Here comes Peggy Sue. Peggy Sue, I Love You, surging forward. Peggy Sue, I Love You. Gets
2 speeds on the Tapeta, so there you go.
There it is.
4th.
My furlongs on a Tapeta normally speed, so I get them there trying to think there's going to be a closer because of a contentious pace, and that's happens a lot at these.
Yep.
Yes, Al, we are live.
Are we live?
Oh, no, I might be not, but yeah. The way I'm going, I had 1 8-5 winner, and that's the end of it. But
yeah, good hit there, Tyler.
Yeah, good hit.
All right, yeah, speed prevails. All right, where are we at? So we got 3 minutes to. We got Woody going off here short. They're going in. I know we don't have time to. Let's watch it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we've been getting behind on Woody because of Gulfstream. They ran to their specific post times. We would be right on top of Woody.
Exactly. Let's see who the heck I had here.
Bedtime getting out in the betting to 7-1.
Woody.
Oh, I actually handicapped this race. I like a 5-6 exact.
You be the judge.
Nice.
Brian.
I had the 5 over to 3-6.
Okay. Those playing, good luck to everybody.
All in.
The track north of the border.
Starter holding the field. Now they settle. Off they race. And back to last is Aria's Quest, and running out in front, Executive Success from Rhaenyra. 1 jab too many, Bedtime. He'd be the judge on the outside and making ground from the back. Aria's Quest shooting away in front is Executive Success. Head on the chest as well, and in fact 2 lengths to Rhaenyra. And they're out by about 3 parts to 1 jab too many. Bedtime pushed along. Next to last on the inside, Aria's Quest is coming through within the center. You be the judge as they tighten up. But now Rhaenyra's come up alongside this leader, Executive Success, only ahead in front. And Rhaenyra wearing the leader like a glove. They've gone away 3 lengths. Coming to third is You Be the Judge, and 1 jab too many's backtracking up the inside. Aria's Quest. It's still Executive Success holding out nicely. Got away from Rhaenyra, who took a shot. Rhaenyra's dipping in behind, and on the inside, Aria's Quest finishing on. Executive Success 3 in front. Aria's Quest up the inside. And you be the judge out wider on the track, but inside the final furlong and well ahead, Executive Success by about 3 lengths to Aria's Quest, and is running on well, but the wire coming up, and Executive Success wins by 1.5 lengths to Aria's Quest.
Those of you looking for value, you got it with a 26-to-1 shot running second.
Interesting. All right. Oh man, we're getting buttoned up against them here. Let's see. We got Indy that's going to happen here pretty quickly. They lagged to the gate, so we got probably a couple minutes. Big whopping 5-horse field here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, Indy. Let me take a look. I haven't looked at this the 7th at Indy.
Big pace advantage with this 3. 90 pace score over a 71 is the next, so that's 19. Morning line. I mean, obviously with all these scratches going from the turf to dirt, if you look at the 3's GSR, and it seems to be a synthetic horse, but the GSR Plus shows it can handle the dirt, even though it doesn't have any dirt experience. 2 Beers by 10. That's a great name.
Yeah, and that was named after my brother-in-law. Absolutely.
That's awesome. I think the note I had here is makers 15% on surface changes, obviously going from synthetic and turf to dirt. Does have a dirt race, I think, here, and it's passed. If I look at all of them, yep, 6 furlong race here, finished 11th. Mile 70, finished 5th. You know, nothing to shout out about. GSR Plus for the dirt is fine. So I fell on the 3 mainly because of the pace advantage, really. And then the 1 has a big GSR bump. It does have the most dirt experience.
Yeah, I really, after looking at this briefly, I didn't have much of an opinion. But the only thing I want to say is that maybe Tyler and Britt Smith, they were named, that horse, 2 Beers by 10, were named after you guys. But I think, clarify with me, Tyler, you guys don't drink before by 10, right? It's usually 12-ish at the NHC. But hold on, we're talking about, if you're looking at Vegas time, you guys have had definitely more than 2 beers by 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock, right? Can't say that I've not joined you. I haven't joined you, but I'm more of an alcohol drinker.
Who else we got in here that's interesting, huh? Ailman. So we got Ailman and 2 Beers by 10.
There you go. There's your exacta.
There's your exacta. the two beer horses.
You got it. You got Ailman. Yeah, 4 beers in by 10 Vegas time. Absolutely. And the funny thing, I'll just we're going way off the beaten path here, but I think we want to have a little fun sometimes. But it's all about it's all relative, right? So, one time I'm driving commuting into Manhattan, going by the Bowery, and there's drunks, drinking at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. We're like, wow, what kind of loser, that is awful. How can you drink that early in the morning? Then a couple of months later, I'm in Montauk, deep sea fishing, and it's between 6 and 7. We're cracking up some Heinekens on the bright sunshine. So, I'm a hypocrite because I'm drinking. But to me, it's the venue that's more important. It's all about the relativity. If I was walking around Manhattan at 7 a.m., I wouldn't be drinking a beer. But out in the ocean, deep sea fishing, I think it's acceptable.
Yeah, right on. I think it is acceptable.
Hey, whatever floats your boat.
Literally and figuratively. All right. Yeah, they post drag too a bit, don't they? Let's see real quick who we got up next. I can't see it when the full screen here. Yep, it'd be Churchill Downs, race 2.
The horses have reached the starting gate. It is now post time. Mabel Cedillo.
See, I love this overhead shot, and then there they go right out of the gate shot too is pretty cool.
Mhm.
A couple of wins on the card. 2 beers by 10. Joins Big Hammer. Alberto Cataman coming
So
in.
it's usually 4 beers by 10 Vegas then.
Right.
Too bad.
Cause-
Marcelino Pedrosa Jr. with Hoosier.
Hot
Right.
Rod, I don't think we can show Evangeline. We're usually not on that late anyway, but
Hoosier.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that we show Evangeline that I'm aware of.
Rodney Prescott.
Oh, good, Tyler. That's great. That 2,500 entry for the big one on.
Oh,
that
nice,
Lone Star.
Tyler.
Yeah, nice. I'm
Excellent.
jealous. I wish I was down there.
Hoosier Daddy now. Big Hammer strides away from the gate nicely toward the inside for Abel Cedillo to just lead out. It's Big Hammer with Hoosier Daddy now in the red cap. Ataman is coming up, and right with Ataman, D-Day reunion in the white cap and the 4-path.
I got doubles lined up here, David, to take this thing down with a 2 and a 3. So let's see what happens.
Okay, good luck to you, Mike.
At the 6.5, Big Hammer leans.
At least to start the doubles.
Daddy now is entering the challenge for Marcelino Pedrosa Jr. So Hoosier Daddy now has taken the top from Big Hammer, who yields. Right there is Alaman in the purple cap as they go up the back with D-Day reunion following out wide. Big Hammer's now second to last, and 2 beers by 10 trails, 5 lengths from tip to tail. And Hoosier Daddy now leads them through a quarter in 24.3.
We had another Hoosier horse today, didn't it? We won, didn't it?
Alberto Burgos has Alaman. Right there.
Hoosier, yeah. Earlier, yes.
Rodney Prescott and D-Day reunion posted 3 wide. Then Big Hammer toward the inside of a Simra Bermudez. 2 beers by 10 remains last of the quintet. The half mile clocked in 48.55 seconds. Around the far turn they go. It's Hoosier Daddy now tackled in earnest by Adaman, who's taken the lead. D-Day reunion right there on the outside as Hoosier Daddy now tries to kick for the quarter pole with Alaman and D-Day reunion. Big Hammer is running in fourth and starting to put in an effort now.
Oh, man, they hammered my double.
Outside. Here they come. 3 quarters in 1 minute 13.56 seconds. D-Day reunion for Rodney Prescott has taken the lead.
Not going to get there.
Ooh.
Omaha Beach reaching for the final furlong.
Come on, 3, get a second kick.
As Big Hammer's staying on now.
Oh, you got to be kidding me. Did not see that 6.
Here comes Big Hammer.
One might get him.
D-Day reunion and
no.
Damn.
Safe and home.
Damn.
Adaman finished third.
Well, that stunk.
Yeah, well, sometimes you get them, sometimes they get it. But you got a price here who, at 6 to 1 in a small field. So it's a race that I didn't have any opinion on. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the lowest win percentage. Wow. Sometime Oaklawn Park shipper. Interesting. Look at that last race of what is that? 1.75 miles. Yeah.
1.75 miles.
That was his last race. It was 1.75 miles.
And no, right? Oh, geez,
he finished 20 lengths back. I mean, I would never have picked that horse.
No.
That way. All right, moving on. Churchill Downs. Maybe we'll change our luck here.
Just bear with me a second, Mike.
No worries.
I'll let you go first. I'm just.
Yeah, let me pull up my notes. I think I have notes on this race. I do. All right, we'll let I got it sorted by pace. We'll let the race sim go. Doesn't seem like a lot of pace. Too much pace in here. 5 gets the lead. Is taking the most money at 3 to 5 right now. Army Hero. My notes is I don't think anybody's gonna beat this horse, but there's no value in no win bet for sure.
Right.
So that's where you'll either maybe find a diamond in a rough that could beat this 5, but I don't see it. Or single and horizontals and move on. Or look to using a double and then the next to find a price in the next, or one underneath here. The big thing with the 5 is it's dropping from 50K main claimers to 20s. SORs 48 last out, 44s It's Sharp and Jose. They're freaking deadly together. They're 3 of 9 in the last couple of weeks. The other horse I was looking at to possibly use in underneath is another Cox horse. He gets Saez aboard. I didn't look at Jake's note here. Team Up needs to wake up and win here. Yeah, so bred and owned by Gary and Mary West. Those are awesome breeders for sure. Had a wide trip last out and didn't have any kick to make up for that. And does have some of the top metrics in here with as far as GSR and so on and so forth. But I don't see anybody beating this 5. The other option I had was Halfway Tempted, this Asmussen horse. But here's the thing with Steve and his son Keith. Steve is 2 for 50 at the meet right now, and 0 for 15 at the meet right now. So you want to root for them, but that they're not having a very good meet at all here. So for me, it's a 5 single, move on, and you can probably make a case for a couple others here underneath, but the 5 over the 6 was the only thing I had, and it's not going to pay much.
Yeah, just bear with me 1 second. I thought these drop downs are always suspicious to me, and I think I would put the 6s drop down to this level before and had a decent second. So I think I would use the 6. I'm going to use the 6. Actually, in replacement of the 5, I would take advantage for the 6
to beat the 5.
Yes.
Interesting. I'm trying to think. There's another horse. Was it the 7? Yeah, 7. But DeSormo's 0 for the meet too. That's the problem. A couple of these regulars are not having a very good meet. And then the other, the 8, the first time starter scratched. That was the other one I was looking at, unfortunately. Yeah, to me, it's the 5 and the 6. I don't like anybody else, to be quite honest with you.
Right. It looks like those are obviously the likeliest winners, right? Just bear with me 1 second. I'm just making a decision here. Let's see.
Let's see if this next race. Yeah, I wouldn't even double into this.
Okay. All right. Again, it looks like it's a likely either the 5 or the 6. You know? But again, with these Laurel level claimers, these horses are for sale. Is it just like a giveaway and dropping this horse because this horse can't run? That's the case maybe with Army Hero. That's a bad race. But he did have an excuse last time out, the 7 furlong race at Keeneland, tossed head at the start, so that's a throwout race. But the drop down from 50 to 20 concerns me, where the 6 has already done that drop down and showed it can still run and run a decent second. So that's why I would give the advantage over the 6 over the 5. To me, it's it looks like a 2-horse race, and I'm not really too sold on the 2 halfway tempted. I'm not even a quarter of the way tempted on it to bet that horse. So, Tyler, if you see Tim, definitely say hello to him and tell him good luck with the Stars. We want to see a Panthers Stars Stanley Cup final. Well, I know I do, but Mike here wants to see Edmonton in there. But we can discuss that before we get off the air today.
Yeah, for sure. We can close the show if we don't have any space between races in the next half hour. I think they're pretty tight, but. Indy and Woodbine seem to be going off near each other. Actually, we'll have a gap after. We'll throw a Hawthorne race up here, and then we'll have a gap in here between that and Woodbine.
Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, if anybody who's in the chat room, and I haven't checked, I guess I can Google it. Are they, if anybody's familiar with that, the Hawthorne Invitational that they had last year?
Oh, I don't think they're having them, David.
Yeah, because it was the last week of June. I wasn't there, but I watched a live stream of it, and I was. I know.
I was there.
Paul, you were there.
Yeah, I wasn't in the invitational, but I was in the other contest.
Yeah, because I
That's
got
what-
a letter last year. I was invited, and there was a couple of obviously people that I know there, and it looks just like an intriguing type of format. It's a little tough for me to get to that location, but thanks, all it's canceled. Okay.
Yeah, they're closing all the OTBs. They're closing all those OTBs. Right?
Are they? Yeah.
Yeah, I met Oldie for the first time there, and he was, very hospitable, helped me get acquainted and stuff. And
Yeah, very
I
nice.
met Brad for the first time, and Matt Miller for the first time. Howard was there, and
Yeah, the
Kyle from
Midwest
his
guys.
show. Yeah, it was good. My wife came along, and we had a good time.
So you did already meet the Chicago mob. Okay.
I did.
Okay.
Oh, man. Looks like tough customers being a tough customer in this race. Literally.
Did they go off?
Yeah, the Army Heroes passing them now. It looks like they're that
Yeah, I'm
tough
just
customer. Oh, Army Hero got him. Yep. That was a good.
Well, like
I mean,
you
it was
said,
those two. It was tough.
It's like a 2-horse race, right?
That was a good race between those two.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the payout was for that exact. Let's see, 5 over the 8. Are you serious? No, that's a double. I say it can't be that. Yeah, $3.08.
Yeah. I'm sure Matt is. He's in that Churchill contest today, which I just entered, yeah, I'm sure he'll be on alive to somebody in the double with that horse.
Nice.
And again, would I, discourage a play like that? No, because those look like the two obvious winners, right? I don't think it was a risk playing either one of them. So in that case, yeah, I could be alive in $100 double, a $50 double, maybe with Army Hero and 2 horses or something to that effect. Yeah, that's very logical in this spot. The problem I have with playing chalk, when I think there's other horses that have like a long shot look or a live look, where these prohibitive favorites are not locks, they could be vulnerable. But in this case, these look like the two obvious winners here.
Yeah, I would agree. Yep. All right, so we'll cover this Hawthorne race, and then we'll have 10 minutes before Woodbine. We can talk a little semifinal Stanley Cup playoffs here. We got some hockey fans in the chat too. So, all right. I took a couple notes here, but we have a Ravelli Loveberry connection in this race. Let's
that's tough to beat.
So we can see here. All right, we'll play the race sim, sort it by pace. We've got a few at the top here. Smoke, Click, and Third Goes On Forever. That's a weird name. Third Goes On Forever.
Third
Goes on Forever. Anyway.
Okay. Man, they might have had something else in mind. They might have spelled it wrong, and the jockey club took it. Who knows?
So this shows Smoked and Click going to the front, kind of staying that way throughout. And then it does have the 4 dropping back and a little bit. That's why I always like to just go here, see what's happening. And then the 9's got the double arrow, and the 8 drops back. So my notes is the 8 is the Loveberry and Ravelli horse, 2 for 2, 1 in the slop at 5.5, last out against 20K allowance, optional claimers, non-winners at 2 lifetime. Is the horse to beat, but again, go 3 for 3. Who knows? I'm going to look for a price to beat him. He is 2-1 at the moment, which is not too bad actually. Click was the other one, but I was actually looking at the 9 here, second race for Burnt, off a layoff. if not, he's going to hit the board, in my opinion. It did come off from way off the pace in his win back at on Churchill Downs again and Broker Maiden. And I think if she steps up here, could upset, at least get a piece anyway. And burnt his average on second time with the horse. But that's why I fell on for a price horse was the 9. And Click was the other one, the 4. So I had it 4, 9, and then 8.
Okay. Looking at it, nothing really inspires me. I think if I'm going to be making a play, it's hard. To bet against Ravelli and Loveberry is a little difficult. I mean, if you look, this horse is 2 for 2. Broke his maiden at Hawthorne in April, and comes back on a fast track today. It is going to be tough to beat, but
yeah.
I did have a little interest in the 1, Mike, Empirical View, second off a layoff. You got a 52 SOR last time up, stepping up, and when horse did face 58 SOR group at Churchill, but that was on the turf. The horse is not won on the dirt, but an Empire Maker and DeVito's a pretty sharp trainer.
Mm-hmm.
And second race back, he's 21%.
Yep.
So I give a toss. I may have a little interest in Empirical View. The 1 horse at current odds is pretty decent at 13-1. So
that's pretty.
Probably
decent.
match up the 1, the 4 and 8 over the 1 in exactas. Hey, Rex 12, thanks for joining.
Hey, Rex, thanks for joining. And scrap, I love it. Friends don't let friends bet on Skinner or Atkinson. I love it. Yeah, we'll talk about Skinner. Skinner the horse or Skinner the goalie?
Yeah, we don't know where that. It's a little reluctance to do either at this point.
Yeah, right.
This one was in Joe Davis.
I was a Skinner horse fan for a while, but man.
Yeah, but he hasn't. He's at heart. Is Skinner going to be in the Stephen Foster? I think he may be there, right?
Yeah. Last time.
I don't know if that's much of a chance. And we'll talk about Skinner the goalie in a little bit. The only thing I'll say about Skinner the goalie, his consistency consists of his inconsistency. He's consistent at being inconsistent, right?
Yeah, right.
Looks like a world beater in one period and then can't stop a beach ball in another period. And again, part of the issue is Edmonton's defense is not, they want a free wheel and they left somebody yesterday alone in the slot in the third period. Just
for the last 2 to go in, the road goes.
Reminds me of the Rangers in the postseason. But go ahead.
Yeah, they're gonna have to play better defensively. Obviously, you can't blow a 2-goal lead and let go 5 unanswered. That's no good. You're not gonna win too many games that way.
Yeah.
Oh, assistant just went down.
Ooh, yeah, we may have a delay.
Awkward game.
Yeah, looks like the 7 might have busted through the gate. Maybe a few others.
Like we're gonna have a delay.
You
Okay.
think?
I know we're gonna have a delay.
Yeah. He goes, I think we're gonna have a delay. I guarantee you're gonna have a delay.
Yes.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that. So we can talk. We'll keep it on. I'll just turn the sound off. We can talk some playoff hockey here. So David and I were chatting a little bit before we got on the air here, and the performance of the Skinner the goalie last night, and how he became Swiss cheese. But it seems to be his pattern.
Mm-hmm.
He's either hot or cold, and it's not always in the same same series either. He's hot or cold game by game.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, defensively, they got to step up their game if they're gonna, want to get to the Stanley Cup Finals here. But Dallas is tough.
Dallas is tough. The issue is it's a goaltending advantage to me, in my opinion. Ottinger is better than whoever the Oilers throw out. where the Oilers have the advantage is that they're an offensive juggernaut. You've got two of the best players. First of all, you got the best player in the world, Connor McDavid, and I think he's on a mission this year. Yeah. I mean, he was so close last year. They were down 3-0. They got to game 7. They came back, and that's the one thing that's missing on his agenda and his legacy as a Stanley Cup. Gretzky got it, Messier. Obviously, those Edmonton teams were, you can't compare this Edmonton team to. Right. But a guy like McDavid deserves to win a Stanley Cup. So I'm hoping that Edmonton. I think the Panthers are going to win the Cup. They proved it last year. You've got them on a roll. The Panthers came up with a brilliant, their GM Zito, brilliant move at the deadline, coming up with before the deadline with Seth Jones, who's stabilized that defense, has been playing great, and Brad Marchand, who is a playoff knucklehead. He's just the guy is like an irritable. He's an irritant. He's a bug. He's a fly, and that's the playoff style. And that was a genius move. Even with Tkachuk not being, he still doesn't seem like 100%. They got the goaltending advantage. Bob, when he gets on a roll, is unbeatable. Yeah. And to me, it looks like, and again, Carolina, to me, needs to win tonight. I think it's going to be a really tight game, and I think they may. But in my opinion, if the Carolina had any chance to win this series, they need to win both of these games in Carolina. But again, and it's about staying healthy. But right now, I don't see anybody beating the Panthers. Now, if you look at a matchup, in my opinion, between the Panthers and Stars, I think that really favors the Panthers, because against Edmonton, the only way to beat the Panthers is by speed and getting away from them and being explosive and just, outscoring them. If you're going to play the same game like Carolina's trying to do against them, they're better at that game than Carolina is. They're better than you at the game that you're trying to play. You follow? So even though I think it should be a 6-game series with Carolina, I don't see the Panthers not getting to the Cup final. How do you? No,
I see it. I see it the same way. I think I would not bet against the Panthers. Let's put it that way. Right. I think it'll go more. Again, if they don't win if Carolina doesn't win tonight, it could easily be over in 4. Right. They win today. Tonight, I can see it going to 6 games.
Right.
They're competitive enough to stay with them, but the momentum's definitely with the Panthers right now. And as far as Edmonton goes, I'm a little biased with McDavid playing his junior hockey down in Erie, not too far away. So, and is probably the best player in the league by far. One can argue there's others, but and then you add Draisaitl to the mix, and I think they got to be close. I think they're near the top and points in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Granted, they
made best players in the world. Yep, 2 of the best
to
players
the semifinals, but I think they're like plus 15 combined or something like that. So they're definitely an offensive-minded team. If they could step up their game on defense, and Skinner, stands on his head a little bit, for crying out loud, or actually just plays normal,
right.
They have a chance. It's kind of more of a heart play on that. I think Dallas has probably got the upper hand. We'll see.
Right. And the thing is, when you look at the goaltending, if you look at the goaltending, Bob's the best out of the group. And is Skinner going to be able to, if Edmonton makes it, is Skinner?
He's by far the top goalie, and that's remaining. So, and I think you need to win.
And with Carolina, I think it may be getting in their heads. Rob Brindamore, great coach. That team is solid. They're tough to play against. They're solid defensively. They're a good group, really tough to play against. However, they did lose to the Rangers a couple of years ago in 2022. They had a 2-0 lead, then a 3-2 lead, and they lost it in 7. Last year, even though they outplayed the Rangers, they lost in 6 So they haven't been able to get over the hump of this. And then when they played the Panthers a few years ago, they lost in 4 straight games. And 3 of them went overtime, or did all 4 go overtime? 1 went quadruple, and they just couldn't get it done. Sometimes it gets in your head. The team, it's like we're good enough, but we just can't get over the hump. And I think that may be a factor in the series, in all honesty.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Be interesting to see what happens in the next 2 games.
Yeah.
For the both of them. Let me see what's going on. Woody's going off already. See, we were waiting to watch that race.
Yeah, I think they did, right? Yeah, we're watching. Yep.
Yeah,
all right. For those of you who have, look at your notes.
I know. Here's the note. I was looking forward to this. Here's your hockey reference. Poulin in OT is
behind.
famous female after a famous female hockey player.
And War Strategy matching strides coming through again.
That was my top pick too.
2 lengths to
See what
Twin
happens.
City, who's shading Skies Not Falling. 1 away Ironstone, back to second last. I'm a Gambler, and 2 away last is Candy Overload. Racing out in front, matching stride still on the inside. War Strategy, the outer Poulin and OT. A length behind them, Skies Not Falling, and coming right through in the center. Ironstone muscling into it. Twin City the outside, 2 to I'm a Gambler, and Candy Overload at the back. The favourites second last and last. They come down the side chasing War Strategy and Poulin and OT, and Poulin and OT narrowly in front. 2 lengths away, third. Skies Not Falling on the inside of Twin City. Ironstone made a dash but has dropped back. Running on, I'm a Gambler's about 5 behind, and Candy Overload still last. Top of the stretch. War Strategy on the inside. Poulin and OT the outer. Neither gives an inch. A length away, Twin City, Skies Not Falling, and now I'm a Gambler trying to rein them in. Poulin and OT in front, trying to hold on. War Strategy the inside, Twin City plugging on the outside, coming. Twin City the danger. Twin City racing up at the wire to get up and win. What a great Twin City to win it from Poulin and OT. War Strategy and I'm a Gambler.
Dang it.
122.95.
Yeah, so the hockey reference there was Poulin in OT is named after the female Canadian hockey player Marie-Philippe Poulin. I can't speak French, but anyway, she won, I think, 3. What did I tell you, David? It was 3 game-winning goals in the Olympic finals,
right?
In Canada. So she's a well-respected female hockey player in Canada, and that horse is named after her.
Right. So you taught me something today, Mike. When I saw Poulin in OT, I am thinking that it's Poulin who played for the Flyers.
Dave Poulin, right?
Yeah. And Tyler, yeah. So thanks for educating me. I don't follow a lot of Canadian women's hockey.
All right, I think they're finally going to go on the gate here. Hawthorne. I think who we got.
Actually,
next.
It's been so long, I forgot who I like. Oh, I thought the 1 was usable here. Yeah,
and I think I had the Ravelli was the 8, and I said the 4.
Right. So I was on the Ravelli. Let me see here. I just switched over to Churchill. So race 5. Oh yeah, the 4. So the 4 was out. That was the other. Yeah. So the 4 is out. So it would be 8-1 for me. 1-8-8-1.
Have the sound on? Nope. There we go.
Right. So we have plenty of time for Churchill. We got 9 minutes of Churchill, and
okay, perfect.
Going to be our finale today.
Yep. Yeah, and I'm got to put in my Indy picks here too while we're watching.
And I just put in. I am in the Churchill contest, and I just put my wager in for the 3rd race, and I will let you know when they leave the gate.
She's in. They're all in the gate. They're off. From the outside, the road goes on forever, tries for the lead. There goes Smoke moving out between those 2, Sunset Express. Empirical View on the rail, 4th. Sweet Music moves up 5th. The trailing pair, Secret Operation, Surprise Me Again. Little more than a half mile to go. Smoked has the lead towards the inside. The road goes on forever. Battles on. Sunset Express moves to the outside third. That one's being followed by Sweet Music fourth. Secret Operation Splitting Horses fifth. Empirical View sixth, and trailing Surprise Me Again. They move to the top of the stretch. Smoke the leader. Sunset Express now picks up the chase. The road goes on forever, drops back. Around the turn, they're in the stretch. Smoked still has the lead. Sunset Express moving up to challenge second. In between horses, Secret Operation gains ground third. Sweet Music fourth inside the final furlong.
Nope. Six is going right by.
Gone.
Smoke trying to fight back. Secret Operation continues her rally. They're all chasing Sunset Express to the wire. Smoked was second. Then it was Secret Operation. Surprise Me Again fourth.
6-8.
Right.
6-8.
6-8. All right, we got Churchill Downs.
Churchill Downs, fifth race, a 5-furlong sprint on the turf. And Churchill, Louisville is spared the wet weather that looks exclusively for the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast. 7 minutes to post. Okay. So we got a maiden special weight. We got a lot of horses who've had one start, and we've had a few first-time starters, and of course a 2-year-old. What would a 2-year-old filly maiden special weight race be without a Wesley Ward in here? Did we have 2 Wesleys? No, we've got one who's actually not taking a ton of money. But you've got a prohibitive favorite, the one Wakuda, and I'm looking at GSRs here. Wakuda's got a 59 GSR. Yeah, 59 GSR. First off that first start at 3-1 with a 2 post, finished a decent second. So off that race, logical choice, right?
Yeah, what's interesting is that it's got a big GSR drop.
It does, yes.
Yeah. Again, it's an Asmussen horse.
Right.
Gets Jose aboard, does help a little bit as far as those stats go, but I was looking elsewhere in this race, mainly because of the Asmussen angle and that big drop in GSR. I know I do like second-time starters, so that's one of the reasons I was looking at that horse. But the other one I was looking at was this Clowning Around, the Wesley Ward horse. Another one second start after the sprint at the 4.5. Yep. Thought the works were pretty good. Give me a second-time starter, Wesley Ward. I'll play that any day. And then the other one was a 12, which looks like you scratched. So, yeah.
You had the 12 out? Yeah.
Yeah.
It had the A's.
Nope.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, usually, Mike, this is a race that I avoid like the plague.
Right.
And this is a race I normally watch for future wagers. But with that being said, Wakuda first time turf off that debut should be tough. But Clowning Around, I don't love the turf breeding, but this horse did have the 12 post in the last race and just tried to force the pace, but from that post at Keeneland on a slop, maybe didn't like the slop, probably didn't love the outside post, moves to the inside, it's got the top pace metric. I mean, it's only 5 furlongs. Maybe have a chance to wire this field. I'm not sure, but you're getting a pretty decent price. And it is Wesley Ward, with 2-year-olds is deadly, and we've got some notes there, and I'm kind of on the same page with those notes. So, and again, this is normally not a race I play. With that being said, after they spring the gate, I'll tell you what I actually played. So, because I'm in that Churchill contest.
Nice. I just lost Of course, I had the wrong. I forgot the Indy race was going off. I just caught the end of it.
All right, so you're still up there, right? We've got.
Well, I'm not anymore.
Oh, okay.
I just spent all my money to try to. I didn't have the 11. And guess what horses I had? The 5 and the 9.
Oh, the 5 and the 9. Okay, yeah.
Son of a gun.
Oof.
So I had 5 and the 9. I had $80 on the 5 over the 9.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had it reversed for 80 as well. That would have probably done the trick, but that 11 screwed me up.
Yeah. Yeah, this happens, but you made a good run there, Mike. These contests they can get frustrating, right?
Yeah. When you're that close, it stinks. All right, we got a few minutes for Churchill Downs.
Yeah, we got 3 minutes to post, and let me just see what the odds are. And let me pull up my feed.
Yeah.
Irishman
5-2. It's happening a lot, especially some of these smaller tracks. I've noticed too, with not so much smaller tracks, but any time it's a smaller pool size, you're seeing such big swings so late. It happened to me earlier at Indy. When I placed the bet, it was 4 or 5 to 1, and it went off at like 2.5 to 1, and that exacta kind of screwed up your projections when you're trying to make assumptions on what the payout's going to be, and you're trying to hit a number, especially in these kinds of contests and stuff, or even if you're doing daily betting like we were talking about, and you're trying to hit a goal for the day of 5x, and you think you're going to get in one race, and you goes from 5x to 2x, and you go, oh shit, now I got to make another play.
Right. Yeah. The late odds changes do get frustrating, and for novices of the game, friends of mine who are casual, not even casual, they play a couple times a year. They go to Saratoga, maybe a couple of days, and that's the biggest gripe, right? But you won't get as much of that on big days because there's a lot more money in the pool. But I mean, you take a typical Saturday, friend says, hey, I'm going to Aqueduct today. It's a beautiful day. We're going to watch some races. Give you a couple of horses. Like, yeah, they sucked. I played that 5 to 1 shot you liked, and he ended up going off at 2 to 1. It's bullshit. And then you get a bad taste in their mouth, right? They bet it and like, well, and then like the age group that my son is in, they prefer playing sports because they put a bet in at 5 to 1 on a future, or that's what they're getting, exactly. And it's for some guys, my son's group says, well, there's a conspiracy going on somewhere in that because I bet it at 5 to 1 and I'm thinking $120 with a $20 bet and I get $6. There's somebody should look into that. So I'm trying to explain, it's the CAWs. And then I got to explain the CAWs to them. And I'm like, okay, after 45 minutes, I'm like, all right, I couldn't handicap and make any plays today because I'm explaining the CA, I'm trying to educate people. And that's their biggest frustration, the late odds shows.
Yeah, it is frustrating.
And the time between races.
That too.
Yeah. They go to Gulfstream with, casual friends go to Gulfstream like, geez, I thought the close time was going 5 because we're going to get the hell out of here and go to dinner. Like, that's Gulfstream for you.
Yeah, it looks like they're loading in. Hey, Dan, to answer your question, I was just trying to win an entry into Monday. Unfortunately, my horses came in first and third. Probably would have gotten me one, but I do have an entry for Saturday as of now. I will probably either buy my way in for a second one, or most likely that'll be the deal. But I do want to play in the one on Monday, though. I prefer that over Saturday. And good luck, Dan, by the way.
Yeah, good luck, Dan.
Hawthorne race 6. I'll give you an update.
Yeah, they're loading in the gate for Churchill. Tell me when they go off, Mike, then I'll throw out what my play was in the Twin Spires contest.
Yep.
I had no intention of playing the Twin Spires, but I'm like, since we're doing the show, I'm handicapping. I'm like,
Right, that's kind of what I did
Yeah,
today
yeah.
too. I wasn't playing it.
And there's no show tomorrow with Scotty. So just so people that we were taking a break for Memorial Day weekend, we'll catch up with you next week. So today's my day to play.
There you go.
All right. They are loading in the gate. Are they on my
Not
feed?
quite. 10's being stubborn.
Okay, good. I see the same thing. Maybe,
Yeah, they're getting assistants in there to
yeah. Tell me when they spring.
join hands. And they're off.
Okay. My wager, 10 to win on the 2. A $5 exacta box, 1-2.
I like it. How you sitting in that?
Oh, I just
That's
I
your
just
first
made
play?
a $10 wager earlier.
Okay.
Yeah, the 2's taking too much. Yeah.
Come
Oh,
on,
there
2
goes that
really
one.
up there. Yeah, it had to swing out. Come on, 2, get up. No, I'm not gonna catch that 3, I don't think. Wow. The firster.
Yeah. Again, Cassie and Frankie,
Frankie.
we were in a good race. The one was nowhere. That rail post is a little tricky. Yeah, I played the wrong exacta. Okay, Frankie baby. It's I guess because it's I deserve the loss because I ended up playing an even money shot in my exacta, which I normally don't do. I should have talked to but it is what it is. I got plenty of time. $70 left in the bankroll, and we've got some.
Yeah, you got plenty of time.
Later on.
Plenty of time. All right, buddy.
right.
Thank you again for your time
Thank you.
today. It was a good
Yeah.
time. We didn't
Yeah.
have too many win. I know we're all right today.
Yeah, it could be
crazy
better.
mix.
I thought my best bet of the day was a 2-1 who ended up going on an 8-5. I told you to put all your bank. So if
That's
you're
what I
listening,
should
you
have done.
put your entire $366 remaining bankroll on that horse. You wouldn't have had any.
I
Bet 'em
got
all.
us twice.
Yeah.
I said my other mistake was I met up with Howard Kravitz and Matt and his wife and who was Patrick and Noah from Howard's crew the Thursday night before the Kentucky Oaks, and I was telling him I was on Citizen Bowl. I just had a feeling, and Howard's like, "You're nuts." He's trying to talk me off that horse. In the Kentucky Derby Betting Challenge, I was alive to Citizen Bull to what wouldn't have been enough because I think the winner ended up with 60-something grand, but still I was alive to about 45 grand.
That would have been. You would have got
double in Citizen Bull, but it would have been prize money anyway plus my 45. But I should have listened to him and he talked me off of. So he gave me a little razz last weekend, and I deserved it. I should have listened to him. So that's 2 times I have very quality individuals trying to talk me off of horses or talk me into horses, and I didn't listen. So maybe I should start listening to.
You know what's going to happen next time? You're going to have these.
I'm going to do it, and I should have bet
a
the
horse
horse.
and by 10, and they're going to be like, "Oh well, sometimes it just doesn't work out."
And it happens both ways, doesn't it?
That's Mike. That's why they called it gambling.
That's right, buddy. That's exactly it.
Holdy, thanks. Good night. Good night, everybody. Mike,
thank you, guys.
And all your horse players out there, may the horse be with you this weekend. Have a fun and safe Memorial Day weekend, and enjoy.
Yeah, have a great weekend, you guys. Good luck all the weekend, and catch the show tonight, weekend preview show with Oldie and Justin, and then stretch run on Saturday as well. I don't know the exact time, but check the link here in YouTube channel, and you'll you'll find the time for Saturday.
Check your TV guide.
Yeah, check your TV guide, all your local listings. But anyway, have a great, safe Memorial Day weekend. Good luck to you all. David, thank you again, my friend.
Thank
See
you.
you soon.
Bye. Yes.
Take care, everybody.
Catch you again. All right.
All
Good
right.
night, everybody.
Bye-bye.